little character sheets all set and ready. So, last we left off, you attempted to capture Byseilu after discussing quickly the options in your mind in her mansion in the Skyway far above Shan, and decided to, instead of talking, attempt to bring her in to justice one way or the other. She's the mistress of the Venerables, who divulged to you, and was quite honest because of the zone of truth, information about the dragon prophecies further, stating that she had been attempting to manipulate the future to suit her goals and aspirations by seeking out the writings of old and using allies of hers, potentially uncovering and rewriting her own path. She escaped, however, after revealing that she is a powerful figure in Shan and beyond, and was here to spread goodwill to the nobles and industries here, which she then admitted to be simply a ruse to grow her power and influence. You had been given tasks set by the Celestial, who had been watching you and aided you against the demonic creature that entered in after she had escaped, using a spell of teleportation to go down, but not down into the Cogs, but not before a clever rook embedded an axe within her, and now knows the location of said axe and of her.
Discreet acts of tracking.
You captured and cleverly, once again, cleverly as a group, found the name of this creature, this demon, from the second layer of Hell, or Kaiba. And once discovering the name of the demon, it then is under your control. And you are in the middle of discussing a potential alliance with them. One that will hopefully bring down Byseilu and bring her either to justice or to her ultimate end. As the Celestial spoke to you all, something shifted around you individually. Amara, you felt a familiar presence beside you, and a figure that you hadn't felt in some time is now next to you. It's shimmering and bright like Ilyana herself.
Hell yeah.
Gunnar, remembering a figure long past and an energy of hers, close by but only in the mind. Nothing physical that you can see, but just a shift in emotion, one that you recognize, of Liviera. Rook, you were given a gift by this Celestial, one that you can now sense demonic presence around you at will, when you see fit. Thulrom felt a shift in his mace, as it almost roared, and the creature within it, the spirit of the Coatl, Doribaliux, the name being, was felt ever closer. He also was then aware of a potential future for him and the source of the afflictions that were affecting the raw holds and beyond, this disease that is now spreading wildly in the east. And Bartlett, you were given a sense of, from the celestial creature, and a quest to very much return that elemental sword, because your fate perhaps lay in what became of that return at the Citadel of Ice and Steel.
Is it in Sean?
On the elemental plane of air, in fact.
Just down the road.
Yeah. This is the elevator, right?
So, we left off with you all discussing perhaps going to the Coggenfresh, one of the inns, one of the few inns that your house, Barclay, still holds sway over in the Cogs. And you are still in the room where Fariso has finished this protective or this magical effect over this demonic creature and now looks tired, as well as this celestial creature still being there, just observing your discussions. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I really want to. I think we should definitely think about going after Byseilu, but I'm also really conscious of the fact that I know, Gunnar, you said you weren't feeling your greatest at the moment, so maybe we can go and have a rest beforehand. Hope that she doesn't recover enough to kill us by the time we get to her. You can track
We
her.
almost
right?
had her. We almost had her last time. You can do it again.
Yeah, but can we do it again?
We fought a basilisk before we fought her last time. She doesn't have that anymore. We killed it.
That's true. What about you, Buckley? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think. Thulrom.
Yeah.
While we've got Friezo here, why don't we look in our little bag of holding and get that little chest that we commandeered checked out?
You keep calling it that, but how do we know that's what it's called?
Well, we'll find out.
No sweat, I'll get that.
Alright, do you mind showing... Hey, Friezo!
Friso, sort of in his large blue cloak, his hands now beside him. You can see, in fact, on his hands, some smoke that's just slowly drifting off them. And he sort of looks there, you can see that the sweat is still in his brow, and he looks over this sweaty, wavy hay, sort of pushes it aside. Well, he sort of gives a deep bow to the Celestial and turns back to you. Yes.
Well, we've commandeered this chest. Now, firstly, I want to say thank you for your efforts. Great job keeping the demon to himself, almost.
Weakened.
Almost.
I was attempting to keep it in one place, but it seemed to overcome that, so I hope that I had just given it a bit of a weakened aura of that fire. That was my intention, anyway.
Well, my fingers are crossed for that too. But there might be something for you in this chest. Would you mind having a look at it? See if we can get it open.
He sort of looks over to Thulrom now, who's lifting the chest up. I'll actually roll a quick strength check for him.
Shouldn't be hard.
He rolled a natural 2. As he attempts to drag it out of the bag of holding now that it was in, he sort of goes halfway out, and he's just, oh! Nah, sorry bro, can't do that.
Come on, put your back into it.
Nah, you give it a go. I'm gonna keep healing.
Alright, I'll give it a go. Dexterity check?
Strength. Good try.
Right.
Amara, answer to your previous question. I can only locate that object for up to 10 minutes. If we take a rest, then sure enough, the axe is very familiar to me and I can find it, but I can't guarantee she'll be in the same place.
Fair. Farizo, would you be accompanying us if we were to take down Byseilu?
You seem to have it quite in control. If you anticipate any other concerns, this demonic creature in Shan is of a bit more of a cautionary thing for me to see. I feel like I should involve the 12, the rest of Arcanix's mages, and let them know about what's transpired here.
I agree. I think more than anything, if Rook can't locate Byseilu, is that something you could do?
I can certainly try.
It would just be helpful, even if you don't accompany us, to have your aid, I guess, in trying to find him. Him? Her? Them.
And of course, Rook, did you want to attempt it first?
Sorry, I missed something. Am I attempting to do a locate object here?
If you want to. Yeah, so we'll say for the purpose of this, your locate object hasn't started yet. So you can now attempt if you
Right. So I guess at that point I close my eyes, breathe in heavily, and kind of direct my hands down in a sense as if I'm feeling out for something, and cast locate object.
Okay. So, as your senses expand once more, the familiar magics enter in you, and closing your eyes, you immediately see as though an eagle flies, and through its eyes, it simply flies downward, and in a fast-forward shimmer, as though you're falling, but you sense your feet are still firmly on the ground. Your mind vision goes downward, and it goes past buildings and homes within the rock, and it makes its way down further past stairs and platforms to the Cogs, a place where it continues on in a wide road of red sand and lava surrounding you, and then finds a door which it goes into very quickly, entering into a large hall where tables and chairs surround it. Red snakes that are behind black tapestries on each side, and sitting on a large chair looking out into her home or place of rest is the mistress. The axe is being slowly, with a whetstone, sharpened. And she looks beside her as this cloaked lizard-looking creature is holding its dark green fingered hand out towards this wound you inflicted that caused her the shattering of the side of her body. And you can see white magic, white smoke entering into that wound, and slowly the flesh is being mended. And she simply continues methodically to sharpen that axe that you own.
Would I understand if this serpent-like creature, or can I see enough to understand if there may be unity from the
Your
Strange Crown?
vision of locate objects is fairly specific.
Yeah.
You can the outer sides of it is very clouded. You only made out her because she's holding it, and very clouded figures beyond.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. But you know that she's in the Cogs at a particular inn, and you sort of gather that you understand which inn, just by the look of it.
Which would be?
The name of it, the name of it you didn't get.
Okay.
And you haven't visited there before, but you know it from the look.
Okay. So
The outside simply looked like a chapel, where a one-story long rectangular building with a triangular roof stood.
So, thank you, sir.
Grasso interjects and he says, "Any luck?"
Friso, I know it's in the Cogs, and I have a feeling that I'd be able to understand it if I saw it. But I have an understanding that this place may be an old chapel of some description. Small details of the interior stand out to me, but I still yet to have to place my eyes upon it to confirm the location.
Very well, but do you think you can find it?
Yes.
Good. If that was all the task was required of me, I feel like the Lord of the city might need to know about what's transpired here. Yes, Marcus. What was your strength check?
18.
Whoa!
Without too much effort, you almost nudge Thulrom aside. He looks at you and gives you a bit of a a glary eye as you easily slide the chest out and says, I could have done that.
Yeah, one day you could have done that.
So it gives you a bit of you see from the nostrils a bit of smoke come out. It's closed, the lid is closed. The chest is a metallic looking chest, fairly plain looking, metal and wood, but you still hear the shuffle of coin. Grasso says, he walks up to it, kneels, and sort of gives it a bit of a mumble under his breath as his hand actually stays on. And he looks up at you. It's locked and trapped. What would you have me do?
What can you do?
I can unlock it, but I don't know what trap. It is unknown to me.
Ooh.
And with a wave of his hand, you hear click as the lock within it seems to unlatch.
Right. But if we were to open this up, something could happen.
I can help. But I can do it from far away, so
Should we all back up?
yeah.
Okay.
Alright, this is exciting. Everyone's to the other side of the room.
Even Grasso sort of steps back. The celestial doesn't move.
As we walk back, Frieza, how many more times may you unlock the chest today?
Specifically a chest.
It is something I can do often if need be. Why?
And I guess this is from a while ago. During our time in the Mournlands, I stumbled across a dark wooden chest that we couldn't unlock. And I guess I pinched it off my back, big enough to carry, and hold it out to him.
Mm-hmm. And that was from the house, wasn't it?
Correct, yeah.
From his house.
No.
This is just on
Shit. You mean the one he wants to take anything from?
Oh, he recognizes chest.
I recall the chest, yes. He takes it, heavy as it is, large, well, it's a small, but quite, the wood is dense, dark wood, and he sort of takes it and gives it a look over. This one is simply locked, and he mumbles the same magical effect, and you hear a similar click as the lid shuffles, as though it is free of its shackles. Is everyone stepping back?
Hell yeah.
For this to happen, and then
Alright. What are you doing, Gunnar?
I probably would have opened the chest like simultaneously because you guys like moved back away from this. So I was like, so I would have moved back as far as I can. So I think that's 30 feet to use my telekinetic mage hand.
And open it. Okay. Slowly,
Yeah.
the lid rises, and from your vantage point, actually, because you're casting a spell, I'll get you to make a perception check for me, please.
19.
19, yeah. So, as you use the mage hand to slowly lift the lid, the mage hand easily upturns this chest, and you can see within it gold pieces, one on top of the other, just a pile of riches. But there's something odd about this pile. As you can look at it a little bit closer from your vantage point, sort of like a glimmer of red glow that's surrounding that pile of gold that seems to shimmer out and in, very light,
Like pulsating.
Pulsating slightly.
I think it's an alien ship.
What's a ship? I mean, alien.
Alien just means foreign.
Oh, right. What is flat?
It's not. You really need to read the book more often.
What are you saying?
You need to read the book more often.
I see. So what about the chest?
It's glowing.
Right.
guys, maybe you should investigate what the glow is.
I can throw a dart at it.
Maybe I don't throw anything at it.
What's what's your little dragon friend up to?
He's sleeping.
What?
I'll use the mage hand to like scoop up some
Gold.
like a handful of gold. Just kind of like do this and like drop it back in into the hand.
Alright. Easily picks up a pile, they separate and slide out of the corners and sides.
Are they still glowing as they're
Still glowing.
I'll bring one closer to me.
Mage hand brings a single gold coin, and as it gets closer, it simply has a similar glow.
Can I feel heat coming from it?
As you put your actual hand towards it, nothing of just this light.
What? Frieza, what do you think of this?
Well, the trap is obviously for the coins, not the chest, not opening it. So she may have had some other trick up her sleeve. It looks to me like
Can you dispel any magic?
sort of gives a slight nod and holds his hand up. This I'm going to need a roll for.
Wait.
Alright?
We'll see how you go.
Okay.
Give him bardic inspiration.
Alright. You watch as, in a moment, the gold coin fades of its light and no longer pulsates.
But the rest are still glowing?
And the rest, the same. The rest no longer have this shimmer that goes out and in. And he sort of looks at it for a moment, the coin that's in midair, and he says, yes, had you touched these coins with your bare hands, some pain would have, you would have encountered. So best that you played it cautious. Well done.
More pain than Barclays is feeling about that large size of gold disappearing before him.
Gold's still there. The spell's gone.
The gold remains.
Oh, you can't see any
He said
gold?
that.
Well, that's fine.
Oh,
That
yeah,
means,
it's all
split it
gone.
4 ways. 4 ways
That's
now.
that's really a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Thulrom hasn't really done that much today, so maybe we split it 3 ways.
I don't hear any
Yeah,
objection. I hear no objection from
Four,
Thulrom
right?
right now.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, because he can't see it?
Yeah, he can't see it.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
know it's there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brooke, you clearly see the gold.
Oh, come on.
Dyslexic moment. Except Frieza.
Alright, well that's exciting. So, let's I confidently walk back over to that chest.
How are we going to get it
Back in the bag. We'll put it back in the
Put it
bag.
in the bag.
Yeah, put it back in the bag. But what I see here is, I think what she said it was.
Will it fit?
Didn't she say it was 9,000?
I thought it was 12,000.
Hey! No.
Can we do a persuasion check against fate?
Definitely.
Against God.
20,000 would definitely be space.
Check on us.
Maybe the gold counters misheard it and put more in there.
Would I know, just out of curiosity, are gold coins made purely of gold? You know, like our gold coins are not.
Sure.
Wait, what?
Roll a history check.
While he's doing that, am I right in believing that was the quantity though?
Yes. 9.
Excellent.
22.
22. Yeah, I mean, you study a lot. You know, you study very intricate things. You know? So you've come across gold coins from different places, different lanes, and this Corvarian gold coins, they are made out of about, breaking it down, about 80% gold. Gold is a commodity here, so it is nearly worth its weight. It's very valuable. And this particular these gold pieces don't seem to be any different. They seem to be made out of the same sort of material. Other more common metals are then filled in afterward, but no, it's majority gold.
Okay. I'll keep that one gold coin, and I'll have it just spinning.
Well, then that's 1,799 coins for you.
I'm still talking.
Right.
The gold coin will spin on my fingertip, and he'll just recite what Michele just said. Did you know that these coins are 80% gold? It's true.
Frieza. I am a little concerned about, and forgive me, I feel like we always ask way too much of you. But I will say that I'm a little concerned about us carrying this chest around. Mostly because I'm worried about Byseilu getting a one-up on us and being able to do something similar to what Rook can do and locate an object.
I see.
Is this a possibility?
Of course.
Can we launder it somehow?
Legal activities I prefer not to be privy to, but if you're meaning to possibly hide it somehow.
Can it be seen inside this bag?
I do not know much about the bag. It certainly can fit quite a lot in there as far as I can see, but that would make me believe it has some sort of effect.
Well, we might need to think about actually banking some of our
Banking.
treasures. Yeah, banking.
Can
I'm unfamiliar with the concept.
I ask, knowing locate object and how it works, could I just put a coin in there, study it, put it in, and test it? Cast a spell and see if I can find it.
Sure, absolutely.
I guess-
do you have another spell slot of that?
I do. Flip side of that, just in case.
Any gold coin within a mile radius.
That will cancel my current location. Oh no,
Wait a second, before you try that, can I ask just quickly, even though I don't think we fully had this bag identified, have we? We gave it to Grasso and asked him what it was, but he didn't tell us specifically what it is, you just said a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Given that description, given what I've seen it can do I understand what it's doing?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
know
it's
it's
like a
magic
pocket
dimension.
dimension, I know that, okay.
Correct.
Would I understand, like, linking, I don't know whether it would be the same with arcane magic, but with any kind of telepathic link to things or searching for things with your mind, would that have any effect? Would I know the answer to that question?
If
If we put it in the bag, would it be able to be searched for?
to be searched,
Yeah.
make an arcana check.
There'll be a few banks here in Shan.
Right, so
14. Oh, hang on, wait. I did also have my reliable, not my reliable talent, what's it called? My stomach boost, I want to boost that bad boy. So I used it last session one time, is that right? Didn't I?
Yes.
I did, so then it's a D6 that I can use.
I guess regardless, at the end of the day, if Byseilu wants to find us, she probably could.
19.
I agree with Amara. Contacts would be many here. Any precautions obviously would be good, but
from your perspective and your knowledge of the arcane, there are certain spells that need for the searcher to be on the same plane of existence as the object it's searching for. This particular spell, locate object, is one of them. If the item is not on the same plane of existence, which does include this sort of bag, as far as to your knowledge, it is a pocket dimension. It's not technically in Corvair. It will not be able to be found using the spell locate object.
I don't think that I'll be able to find it.
Well, that's good news. So we put the chest back in the bag. All right.
Okay. Regardless, yeah, I think she'd be able to find us if she really wanted to. Someone like that
she
has
could
a lot
probably
of
do the same thing to us, right?
yeah.
Is that
I
possible?
assume. I don't
Can you
know.
do that?
I assume there is some form of magic that would be able to locate us if she really wanted to.
from my vague senses of locating the object, I have a sneaking suspicion she's waiting for us and expecting perhaps.
Yeah, look, I think that we walked into this a little bit too obvious trap, and it's
Not a trap, I don't think.
I don't think.
A challenge, but
she was ready for us.
I think she wanted to meet us.
That was a trap.
I don't think it was a trap, because if it was a trap, then we probably wouldn't have come out as well as we did.
That's not how traps work.
Mind you, she definitely could have been
Traps
sizing
don't
us
end
up.
Traps don't end you, they just trap you.
And then seeing also what we can do and what we're capable of. And now she has a good idea, so
Yeah, I think next time
should
she might be a little
should
bit
be
more
more
prepared.
prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next time should be more prepared, but that's okay.
But we need to, that's why we can't just go as we are. We have to change this up. We have to change it around.
Do you want your axe back?
The axe is dear to me.
Alright.
I think before we rush into anything, let's go and find a tavern. Barclays, you said you knew of somewhere we could rest. Have a meal, sit down, have a couple of drinks. Let's decide what we're going to do from there.
Yes, I think well deserved as well.
Carrizo, I did promise you a round if you were to join us.
Thank you. I would like a drink now, but I feel like it's slightly more pertinent to talk about this this current encounter with Molestra and Barbie and the others.
Barclays hasn't encountered Molestra.
Have you heard from Molestra by any chance?
He rolls his eyes quickly and says, yes, Barclays. She responded to me.
He doesn't know I sent a message to him.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
But I also tried to. That was my first go.
Tried to ask
Yeah,
questions.
as well.
She simply says she's waiting.
I see.
You're welcome, Barclays.
I know.
Barclays, your imagination tells me something.
How much time do we have?
I don't know. Where do you want to find a small room or
Oh.
sort yourself out?
I could go with Frieza.
I mean, that's one less person to get hit by arrows, so...
Barclays, I've been meaning to talk to you though. The vision that I see for the locate object is the tavern is in the Cogs. It's a large hall and the decors of what I understand of snakes on tapestry and a large throne room at some point. Does any of this?
Yes.
Does it ring a bell?
It's familiar. The sleeping snake. I would try there.
Have I been there?
No.
Okay.
The
No,
Cogs,
get wrecked.
well, the Cogs don't really have any Houselander inns.
Yeah.
In fact, this one is the only one in the Cogs that you're aware of.
Yeah.
It's a disreputable part of Shine, and Houselander being a reputable guild and wants something of a reputation to uphold, you're very well aware, Barclays, that they definitely wouldn't find themselves taking up shop here. The inns that you are aware are in the Cogs are not run by the most repute of folk.
See. No. I haven't been there. And
The sleeping snake is a lead at least. Frieza, I have one last favour to ask before you depart.
Of course.
King Romanel, do you know if any of his nightingales are within Shan?
King Coronel is not does not necessarily bring his elites with him everywhere he goes. I can find out if you'd like. If there's, with the rumor, however, of the Lord of Blades afoot, he might have a retinue. Why?
I ask as now that we've learned that Byseilu is in league with the Lord of Blades, if it's possible for any of his agents of the Nightingale that are in this area can join us in either the capture or killing of Byseilu.
I'll send word to him immediately that this has occurred, and if he sees fit to send his troop, then I will let you know.
A few strong hands might be enough.
Very well.
Any last thoughts?
I'll stick around. Let's go down. Relax. We've earned it, I think. What do you think,
Gunnar?
Gunnar?
Amara?
I'm happy to... I promised you all a drink, so I guess we go find somewhere to have a drink.
Then take us there.
Alright. Wait. By the portal?
I believe so.
Has
You
anyone
guys-
discussed this with Frieza
You
yet?
guys forget that Frieza is the one person that can transport us there
Yeah.
immediately.
I believe Frieza is the one that can take us there.
Frieza, I don't know if you want to do this.
As much as I would like to, my power has been waned by this battle. I don't have the ability currently. I must rest.
That's okay. If you leave, are we gonna go back to what we usually look like?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
And what's your advice? Should we just walk straight back out of here, straight out that portal? It'll spit us out where we should be, where we started in the hallway with the plants.
That is, from what I can see, the quickest way out. Yes, when still not alone. He sort of looks around a little bit. This place is bigger on the inside. It has other secrets.
Do
So
we
I
even know
feel.
how to get out? Do we even know how to get out?
We follow our ropes that we dropped.
You mean the portal that closed behind us?
I fashioned one to get here.
Okay.
So you can come out the same way. That will last as long as I have to stay here for. So, if you go out here and then go down, back down the skyway, you'll be still in disguise until you in fact go back to Upper Jura.
Okay.
And in the crowds, the disguise will drop.
Okay.
What are you going to do now?
I will advise with the king. We'll go straight to the citadel here and speak to my companions. Count Babby first.
Frieza, you've been a massive help. Thank you.
I hope I have. I feel like had I not been here, the flames of this creature might have affected us all. But I think we should really give thanks more to. And he sort of looks up in this large, imposing, bright, white figure. Continues to observe with his dark winged skin, bald head, his white, glowing eyes, powerful and silent.
Can I speak to it in Celestial? Because I know Celestial. Yeah. And I'm gonna say thank you for being here, and for helping us, and will we run into you again?
You will. Perhaps not immediately, but perhaps at the end, when we are needed most.
At the end? What do you mean?
If the fates are written, or if they are left alone. The bindings we have now will take us to the same destination.
Are we gonna
As I
die?
said,
What is the aim?
we have a battle coming. In what respect is unknown, unwritten, only known to those who study the scrolls, these prophecies. They are not binding. They can be redone. Therefore, I must inform caution. Do not go looking for fates which are beyond your imaginations. They will only bring you distraction.
Should we not go after Byseilu?
Stop her. Stop her, but look within yourselves and find your own tasks also. For as I mentioned, sleeping dark, dreaming dark, need to be put down, the sword returned. The Lord Blaze stopped, and the mind melder put down.
Is there a sequence? Like, should we do this in a particular order?
Can we get a chapter list?
There is no time for any of these tasks to be done. But whichever path you choose to take first, there will be rewards and consequences for the others. There is no one that stands above the others. There's no one that's more important. But they all must be done. While and he sort of looks towards this teeth and bones of a door that stands between here and the second layer of hell. And he says, while I venture there and see what we truly are going to find at the end.
What was your name?
Call me simply Ma.
Mal.
That is all. That is what I am known as.
May I inquire? Are you privy to any of your kinds that may have been in mismarch at the time? I believe to look with green skin.
That was I. I have been watching you for some time. In the shadows. Sometimes protecting, sometimes simply seeing if you, among all heroes of Quori, would be up to the challenge. You have passed tests which others have perished, and I have not guided you to these tasks, but you have risen above them. Other heroes have disbanded, gone their separate ways, selfish, or died under sword and flame. We trust in you now.
So, who do you think is most likely to die first out of all of us?
Well, thank you. I think you just gave us a 9 out of 10.
Well, I
Are you
just...
still both talking in Celestial?
Well, I was talking... I guess I would be talking to
Oh,
Celestial
totally.
until further notice.
Yeah.
Human.
Human.
Yeah, just be aware that the languages that were spoken, it was directed at you.
Oh, just to... So we didn't hear that?
When you asked the question, he spoke back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I genuinely asked that question.
He looks at you all and says, on a thumbnail, on a pin, your lives are swayed by the dragon processes, as all lives are. The weaving strands, and he sort of holds his spear up and moves it slightly, and you can see in the air this line of white energy. As soon a map forms of Quori itself and beautiful bright lights throughout that land in front of you. It sort of brightens your eyes and you can hardly see, but it disappears as soon as you sort of close and blink. He says, your lives are important. Very. I should not wish to even understand what would happen if one of you should perish. We are indebted to you and require you all to live. You are all as strong as each other, and there is not one of you that is thus far weakened or weaker than the other. I know it is a simple answer, but it is not about who is the weakest or the strongest, but what you are as one, together.
May I ask if we are the needle? Is there another on the end of this threading the story?
Threatening?
Threading.
Threatening. The gods? One that threatens, however. One that is behind the veil. A name that you may have heard before. That dances with its illusions and its subtleties. And has come through. And that name is Byseilu.
Byseilu?
Byseilu.
How do we spell that?
FRAZZUBLU.
Thank you. So I don't go 20 sessions mispronouncing it.
This being you have seen before, but not in reality, but through the dragon prophecies. I was there at the moor of Argonas when you opened The dragon prophecy and saw a great battle. You recall this?
Yeah.
One that had the dragons flying high and demonic armies versing and battling against all manner of humanoid beings for the land, for their lives, and one demon creature rising above them all, enormous in visage, calling down the dragon god himself, and them doing battle. This Byseilu is a mighty lord of the sixth. He is whom I am now going to enter his realm to seek, and to find out why he has risen above the others. His name is simply, it is not something that others hold power over. He is very strong. He casts illusions and holds sway over many followers, fanatics, and Quori. He is the ultimate. He is the one which others follow and which whom we have to stop.
Marl, I thank you for this information.
What information? You understood that?
We all understood that, yeah?
I don't know.
I understood the words.
He looks and with his spear points towards the brown box.
Yeah.
He says, read the inside.
And I open up the darkwood chest.
There is a few things.
Yeah.
There is a ring of silver, a simple band of silver. There is a note that's folded and sealed with wax. There are several, 4 feather tokens of shark.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 green emeralds. I'll get back to the emeralds in a moment. And that's it, sorry, that's it.
In which case I'm assuming he's speaking of the note that's sealed, and I take it out, close the chest, and then put it back on my side, and pull the wax seal off and open it up.
As you do, you see the words written in normal ink, black ink in common. And are you reading it to yourself, or are you reading it out loud?
Did everybody hear the conversation that just happened with me and Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll read it out loud then.
Okay. It reads, this gem, green, must be sent to Byseilu. One of 3 that caused the calamity.
Whoa.
Oy. There's 3 green emeralds in here, yeah?
Yes. Yes, sorry.
And one of these 3 caused the calamity.
You're not sure?
Don't drop it.
You're
Don't drop the box.
not sure.
What's in the box?
So these emeralds, they're interesting. They shift in colour. They go from a red to a green to a blue. They change, and they're all multifaceted, like a brilliant diamond. But they shift to clear, to blue, to yellow, back to green again.
Accurate to quote chromatic.
Yep. And he says, I believe, this celestial speaks, he says, I believe you have come across a gemstone or some sort of rock on your travels in the moorland. As I was watching, you had bested these creatures, these illithid types of four-legged beings, and then discovered this thing. I was not aware of its power, but afterward I sensed it. The thing you came across, shimmering, may have been part of whatever magical effect was the cause of this destruction of Sire. And you recall that in the home, where it was one of the only intact houses where you saw the floating notes in the air, there was this, in the center, a shimmering pool. Remember the green pool? So there's...
Kind of looking inside.
It's okay. So there was a pool of green, and the Celestial continues, he says, Fraser Blue deals in illusions. Had you looked possibly closer, you may have seen such a gem. If you are going back to the morning, I invite you to attempt to find it now with that knowledge. And perhaps its two brothers, the other possible, powerful pieces, and prevent them from being put back into the hands of President. But beware. As I said, he does deal in illusion. And he becomes more powerful. So, I simply utter caution. Do not take things at face value when you are dealing with him and his followers.
This is concerning news, but I'm glad these stones have found its way to us. Know that they'll be safe. And can we call upon you if we need assistance?
If I'm close to this.
Would you get one?
Sheldon looks pretty good. What's up? You want to juggle some gems? Let me see how good I am.
I don't know, see how good you are at hiding illusions.
Pretty good. Let's put it in the bag.
Yeah. I hand the gemstones to Buckeyes. And say, do you understand the value of these rocks?
Yeah, I don't think I'll use them for gambling, although it could work well at some of the high-rolling tables.
The humour at that point is lost on me. These stones may have something to do with the calamity. Wiped my nation.
And you're handing these to me?
The Celestial speaks again, he says, these pieces of gemstones are not the same large rocks in which I speak. These are simply multifaceted and mundane gems. The rocks I speak of, you had unfortunately missed back in one.
Okay. Chuck them in the bag, we'll sign them
Okay.
Mal, is there anything else we should know?
I do not know where the other two pieces are. Nor I know why Sire was destroyed. Nor do I know what these large rocks do specifically. So when you handle them with care.
Remember when you guys saying you throw a rock?
Huh?
I I remember you guys talking about this. You said you guys saw it
Sorry, I couldn't understand you through your mumbling.
What fire?
Are you tired?
Yeah.
Should we go to bed?
I don't remember you talking about this. He said you saw it in the house.
No, what they saw was this pool of green liquid.
You didn't talk about that either. You didn't tell me about that.
You weren't there?
No, I was outside. I was playing with the brain thing. I was trying to figure out what it was.
Oh!
Animal turned Thulrom into a dumber Thulrom.
It's not too hard.
Anyway,
So
Let's talk about this elsewhere.
And he sort of gives you all a nod. Was there anything else before I departed?
can you get us out of here?
Where is the destination?
The Cogs?
Carbon fresh.
He holds up his hand and this large hum fills the air around you. And this reverb just bounces off the walls and you feel your eardrums once more just almost burst as the divine energy surrounds you all. And you all feel yourselves lifted and light as a feather. And in a moment,
My freezer.
you are somewhere else.
Freezer was still there.
Sand beneath you. Looking down, you see this red dust. As you saw, looking up, the first thing you realize is that this place is loud. There is hammering metal, dun, 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 and yelling of dwarves over the top of others, ordering people to carry and move things around. You see warforged in the hundreds, clamping, clattering against each other, holding beams of metal and wood, and just moving them back and forth. This enormously wide path, a main thoroughfare in this now enormous cavern, where you see below you, in small valleys and in the short distance, rivers of fire and lava that are causing you to just look back as the heat just almost overcomes you. You're almost choking for breath straight away, and all of a sudden you feel sweaty, and it is a very hot place.
Come here!
I like it.
You see that there are hundreds of people, dwarves, humans, and warforged predominantly, with a few smatterings of dragonmark people, elves and humans with these very light wares, so singlets or just loincloths that have either small or very, very large markings familiar to you all now, having them on as a disguise. And by the way, your disguise is now over. You are yourselves once more.
Barclays, you're wearing a shirt again.
You like it?
Yes.
Think I should take it off?
No.
Right.
Absolutely not. Thank you, though.
Close your eyes, devil.
Well, thank you.
To the right and the left of you, these cavernous walls just rear up into looking above you. There are portions of the sky whereby Shan is visible, and you can see buildings within large and small holes where these caverns end. But otherwise, it is only lit up by the flow of lava and torches here and there. All in all, it's actually a fairly dim area. But the homes and inns mostly seem to be actually built within rock, underneath Shan itself, Shan proper. And you see every now and again laneways which weave a way between sort of houses within the rock that have been sort of chiseled out by either magic or man-made ways. You're not sure.
I changed my cloak to kind of reflect a little bit more of the regular wear that I see on the streets here, and then I take it off and I just put it up on my shoulder, roll my sleeves up. Alright, Where are we going?
Yeah, I pull my cowl up over my nose, I guess, to cover up the soot and smoke that's going on around the place, and put my cloak over the top of my head. Gunnar wishes to rest, and I don't know, Amara?
I wouldn't mind debriefing a little bit, I guess, de-stressing. Yeah, I think we've had a big day, a big couple of days. Yeah.
Where are we standing? Are we can we see the common crash?
Well, you are smack bang in the middle of this wide path. Looking behind you, you see much the same as in front. It's as though you've been placed in the dead center of this place, where you can hear and see blacksmiths in an entire row, 5 or 6 of them are beside each other, hammering away at all manner of things. You feel like you weren't put directly in or near the common crash, no.
Okay.
It sounded like when you said the Cogs and he just sort of sent you there.
Right. Well, at least we made it to the bottom. It's not bad, I guess. Can I walk over to the nearest blacksmith?
Yeah, as you walk over, you see this large warforged figure. Metal plates on his arms and legs for extra protection. He looks imposing and larger than the others. You can see him a makeshift hammer instead of a hand, battering away at the sword that's just very skillfully flipping back and forth in this hot bowl of lava, of fire. And he just keeps hammering away. Sparks just fly in all directions. And as you get closer, you feel a bit of heat. Around him, there's the anvil. There's the I forget the word now. It escapes me. But the
what does it do?
It goes up and down. Bellows and the bellows. Thank you very much.
Good job, Gunnar.
Fueling the fire that is continuing to burn. Beside him as well, behind you see a manner of row of swords and other sorts of weapons galore.
Okay. So
he doesn't look up.
So I go over to him and I use prestidigitization.
Jesus fuck, it gets longer.
Digitization. Prestidigitation. That's it.
Hey!
Well.
Stressful.
And what I do is I lower, because I can see that it's quite bright, there's coals and everything like that, a little bit smoky, but it's bright. I make it kind of really dark, I say, "Good day there, my man. How are you?"
Are you doing it at the same time or in what sequence?
To get his attention.
Sure. Are you lowering the flame then?
Lowering the flame.
As the light around him lowers, he sort of looks around a moment, looks at this fire pit, and as he hears you, he looks over as he gives you a nod, and he wordlessly goes and just pumps these bellows even more, just to try and get some sort of light. But it doesn't do anything. He sort of creeps his head to the side a moment, looks at you once more. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Let me get that for you. They brighten back up again.
No emotion seems to come out, but you gather that there's a curiosity that he has about what just happened. He says, "Thank you."
So we're traveling through here. And probably don't know exactly where we're going. Do you know where the Carbon Fresh is?
Slowly holds up the other hand, which actually has a hand on it, and points down the path towards where you were facing. He then says, "That way. 100 feet on the right."
Well, thank you for the description.
Would you like to buy a sword?
Well, actually, I want to get your opinion on something. What do you think of this sword? And then I show him a silver sword, which I got from
The knights?
no, from Marag?
What?
Marak? No?
The demon.
The demon.
Oh, the demon. Sorry, the demon.
Yeah.
Are you giving it to him, or are you just simply holding it up for him?
Well, it's hard.
Handing it over?
Is his one hand free?
It is.
Yeah, I can hold it out.
May I see?
Yes, there you are.
He takes it and very skillfully and swiftly sort of turns it over and then holds it with one hand. Very balanced. Silver. Non-magical. Worth approximately 450 gold pieces. Mundane.
Now, it's mundane. Can you do something about that?
I'm not an enchanter.
You do? Like Greg. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you for your evaluation. Is your shop in possession of something significantly better than this item?
Better? Perhaps. What are you looking for?
I'm just curious.
I have a more valuable sword, yes.
Okay.
What would you like to spend?
I'm just curious. Like, is it imbued? Is it a magical item, perhaps?
I have no magic item. I have.
He's not an enchanter, Barclays.
I
We
have,
may have. It's his. I don't know what's in his shop.
I have simply master.
Have you been here before?
Oh yes.
I have masterwork weapons. I am quite skilled. Masterwork usually means quite sharpened
Yeah.
and providing some sort of, I guess, bonus to whatever attack that you do.
Okay.
But
Extra damage.
extra, it could be hit as well, depending on your spend.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, no, I'm just curious about what wares you have. It's really good to know. Is there anything else that you guys would like to ask this fine gentleman here?
No, what are we doing here?
We're trying to find out where the Cobham Fresh is. My silver sword.
Isn't it
That's
cold
about.
and fresh?
Yes.
That was a test you passed. I have a DM question, if that's okay.
Sure.
As someone who, I only really lived in one place, but as someone who did live in Shan, what would the overall impression I get about the Cogs, just from hearsay, would
Sure. Yeah. You get a distinct impression that, and looking around, you sort of confirm this, and
be? I'll
that's.
see you guys.
Oh, sorry. Let's go stand room.
Oh, cool. Nice. Following orders. I like this. That's okay. So you get the impression that, and looking around you do confirm, there are not many guards here. Looking around, you see that the guards
Should
have
we
been.
make out? What's going on?
Oh, this is an
Just
intimate
two of
session,
us.
this one.
Welcome to After Hours.
There are
She's the dominant.
there are guards outside of some blacksmiths, but certainly not to the extent of the upper portions. Even I mean, the guards thin out as you go from upper to mid to lower of the parts of Shan. Around you, you see what you'd expect to see from hearing it. You see people standing around brandishing things like crossbows, knives, rusty and not.
It's like the slums.
Gangs here and there.
Yeah, by brandishing as in trying to sell or just showing off there?
Showing off.
Yeah.
So showing off a bit of superiority.
This is a bad place.
It's not the best. It doesn't have a good reputation, no.
If that's the case, from here on out until further notice, I will very much have my hood drawn and be very much trying to conceal A, my identity, and B, my race.
What was the name of the tavern we were going to?
Cog and fresh.
Fresh.
Is it cog or cob?
Cog.
Okay.
Can I ask, because
Okay.
I was away for those 2 moments that interaction happened, had we asked the
Yeah, we know where it
vendor?
is. We know where it is.
So we know where it is.
Yeah.
Has it pointed us in the direction that it is?
Yep. We
Okay.
know
Yeah,
exactly
that
where
way.
we're going.
Alright. We may take our leave then. I don't think Barclays has anything else to say. Barclays?
No, not at all.
Excellent. Let us venture forth.
That's a change.
Let's do that in the playback. It'll be alright.
He doesn't watch the playback. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just kind of be hiding behind everyone.
Okay.
Do you want to lead the way, Rook?
Um,
Seems like more of a you area than.
Yeah, I'll take the lead.
Sure. So, Barclays leaves the Warforged blacksmith and follows you.
Oh, it's awful.
It was.
I thought it was a dwarf for some reason.
That's okay. You make your way forth and following the instructions of the Warforged, which he seemed to not really only talk to Barclays, his voice carried, and you heard, and you saw the pointing of the hand. In about 5 minutes, after seeing very much the same environment and surroundings that you saw when you first landed, a sign outside of an inn made of the same stone that the very outer sides in the far distance of this Cogs district is made of, a light yellow and white sandstony type with red veins, is built separately with a wooden roof. It is a rectangular 2-story abode which has a flat roof. This is the Cog and Fresh, not the. You're looking for the Cog and Fresh?
We're looking at Cog and Fresh, yeah.
Good.
It does sound similar to the other one, though.
That's right.
Yeah,
So this
okay.
one's rectangular but 2-story,
Yeah, okay.
flat roofed.
Right.
Not triangular.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And on the outside, it has a sign that simply has a metallic looking cog on top of it, sort of bolted on.
Mm.
There are only 1 or 2 windows that really make out the entire outside of this establishment. You can't really see yet from the outside what the inside looks like, but you do see a singular door that is slightly ajar and some sounds that are coming in from there. No music or anything, but what sounds like people talking and conversing and whatnot.
So we're in, or?
No, you're outside at the moment.
I walk up to the... Is it like a saloon door, or you just open it up, or?
It's actually it looks very much just like a house door.
House door. I walk up, turn the handle, open it up.
Okay.
Shortest to tallest, and look at Gunner, and invite him in.
I guess that means I'm second.
All right.
As Barclays...
As Gunnar walks past you, he transforms into a taller version of himself, so now he's taller than you.
When I'm still short.
Mm-hmm.
And as Barclays comes up, I kind of do that, straighten and I'm taller than you.
Why are you stretching up? Why are you standing up on your heels, huh?
Is he taller than me?
I mean, that would be...
How tall are you, Barclays?
I'm trying to find.
I know exactly how tall I am. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I
have a
was
height
wonder if I did put the height in somewhere.
It'd be in description.
5'11".
Description. Yeah.
I'm 5'10", 11.
Oh, you're 6'2".
Hey, alright,
I am a half elf.
It's
as
weird
well,
because you have
right?
such a short man syndrome. I don't.
yeah. Accurate.
You walk in, and you see that it's a fairly for your particular level of expectation, Barclays. It's very simple inn. Although very clearly it has House Galander's emblem very brightly displayed above the bar.
Yeah.
The bar itself is on the very far side,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a very short bar that takes up the entirety of the back of the inn. The tables and bar stools and such are directly in front of you. There are probably about 20 tables which hold about 4 chairs each. Simple wood, very well maintained, but simple. and you see as well, there are patrons, probably about 30 or so, just scattered, scattered around. Some standing, leaning against the walls, some sitting, all manner of beings. But weirdly enough, only about 1 or 2 Warforged in this particular place. Very unlike outside, which was just teeming. You see that it's lit up by just sconces with what looks to be actually natural fire this time, not the ever bright and ever burning lanterns that you're used to seeing in Sharn. Very well maintained, and none of them are out. And you see at the far end, there's this halfling that's just polishing what looks to be a glass. So, and there are other servers here and there. There's an upstairs, goes up the top, but no balcony.
I'm going to look at Barclays and say, well, promise is a promise. I'm going to hand him 10 gold pieces, and I'm going to say, here's some money for some good beers.
With that amount of coin, I think we may be able to do this on
Yeah,
too.
Yes, I say. Here, you hold on to this, we'll see what we can do. And I walk over to the, Barclays walks over to the halfling, I think, is that right?
Just before you go, do you guys say that like quietly to each other as we were walking?
Yeah.
Gunnar, before you leave, Gunnar will just say, you know, you guys didn't do very well that time. We helped you.
Yes, and how did we profited well from that?
Yes, I'm not helping you this time. I'm very tired.
We'll make sure we get some rooms, and yeah, you can do whatever recreationally pleases you at whatever time you would like to. If that's just sleeping, then that's fine.
If you want to lose money, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, we have 10 gold. It's Amara's.
Wait, I said this for beers.
Let's get some juice. Would you like a drink? Or would you like to go to bed?
He's 9, don't give him a drink.
I didn't say what type of drink. Would you like a drink?
Some juice.
Some juice? What type of juice?
I thought he was 30.
The best one.
Yes?
The best one.
Something fruity. Got it.
He was 9.
Wait, are you, how tall are you right now?
How old are you right now?
No, how tall are you right now? Didn't you like...
I'm taller than him.
Yeah, but do you look like a tall man?
I
Do
just
you
look
look like a
like-
giant
I just-
9-year-old?
No, I look like a grown-up version of Gunnar. So I still look very young because he isn't old.
Yeah,
Are you of age to drink?
he looks like it.
I've already told you this. It's really hard to explain.
If
I'm still 9.
okay, that's
I've been 9 for 20 years.
He's 9.
This is perplexing me. 9 to
Yeah, weird to me too, okay?
But time still goes on.
Yes, around me.
Right, I see. Well, why don't we just count to 20? You just look young. Why don't we just say that? So we'll get you a drink. Oh, you're actually 9.
I'm 9.
Alright, okay.
My
Are you
My body
9?
hasn't changed in 20 years.
Okay. How is that?
What?
Ah.
It's weird.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds weird. We should do something. Talk about that sometime.
Okay.
Alright. Should we go in?
We're in.
No. Further back into the room instead of just us standing here in the doorway.
I'm gonna find a table in a dimly lit area that has no one at it, and I'm gonna say I'll find the chairs and walk on over.
You'll find the table about a third of the way in, on one of the sides, which is probably the darkest looking area of the inn at the moment. You take a seat, you take the amount of chairs that are required, and you sit.
I do my usual head over to the bar.
Okay. As you head over, what are you doing, Barclays?
I'd like to head over to the halfling.
Halfling as well, Gunnar?
I'll follow
Amara, okay, so you sit with Amara, and Barclays and Rook, you head over, Thulroms sits as well, with you guys. You two head over, and as you walk towards the bar, the halfling this older-looking halfling with wrinkles below his eyes, crow's feet, this very short, button-looking nose, but wide mouth, and the sort of the skin, old skin that seems to be just stretching slightly, some way like whiskey white hair. Looks at you, and then you back.
Young man. My friend and I would like House Galander's finest.
Friend? No. Do you know who this man is?
Yes, I believe he is the Viper.
Yeah.
He sort of puts down the glass he was polishing and sort of holds his short, old, wrinkly hands wide. You can see he's wearing just a bartender-looking brown, simple tunic. It is an honor, sir. Oh, the tales. But you must tell me, why are you here? You are, of course, welcome, but the Cogs, sir, it is not your stature. You have other underlings, of course, to check on us, to gather our fees and be off. But it is certainly something that we welcome you here, but you are more than welcome. What brings you to this part of the woods?
We've met before, right?
You don't recognize this being, no. He seems to recognize you.
I look at the Viper like he knows this person.
What time is it?
To your knowledge, it's probably about midday.
About midday. Well, good afternoon, if there isn't ever a dedicated barkeep like yourself, sir. It's good to see you.
Yes, I've only seen you in passing, but tales have been told and your adventures are rife with valor.
Forgive me, my friend, but I think the excitement has gotten to us. Barclays has forgotten to introduce you to me. What would be your name?
Oh, yes.
Get into that, come on.
I'm filling in for you, I'm getting the name.
You just asked already.
I'm Orlix.
Orlix. You haven't told me you've seen Orlix recently?
Well, it's been a while since I've been down here, and I can say, well, I'm not here on official business. We have some other adventures, some other dealings that are in motion at the moment that has brought us all the way down here. But we are in need of our good brand, our good name services right now.
Askelander, of course, is of service to you. I hear rumors that your adventures are taking you to seek out unusual and perhaps wondrous creatures for a particular project you may have in mind. More than that, I'm not told, but is any of these wild rumors true?
Well, some may be true. We'll have to sit down and confirm what you know, but I can tell you, yes. Regarding our own house, most definitely. There has been some good developments as far as the project goes. Happy to share more. I mean, in fact, we can discuss some things about the Cogs and what inspiration we can get from this wonderful place as well for the great project.
Please forgive me for my forwardness, but I have perhaps been a bit forward with my own adventures and wanted to get back out there. And once you rest, once you eat, and of course, the rooms for yourself and the drinks are free. For your companions, a great discount.
I'll take care of that. That is fine.
Oh, thank you, sir. We're still an establishment, of course. But I have come across something that might be of interest to you for your goals and your deeds. So when you are rested and when you are well, I'd be more than happy to show you what I found.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, yes, we will talk, most definitely. So why don't we get our little group, we'll head over to that table over there. That's not reserved, is it?
No. Oh, I can toss them out for you, sir.
Okay. No. Patrons, we need them. We'll head over to that table if that's okay, and we'll get some of our finest ales here, and also some juice.
Well, Shan's sip is a lovely brew. Allow me. Sorry, what was you
Felix, is it?
Orlix.
Orlix, sorry.
Felix.
Orlix.
Far out. Sorry,
Okay.
I just gotta open the note.
Orlix. That's okay.
Orlix, may I ask, do you have any food as well?
Of course, yes. I will go to our kitchens and tell the chef to bring some out to you post haste.
May I help you? I can pour an ale or two for my friends.
Thank you. I'm the only one here. It's been a bit of a quiet morning. But yes, feel free. And he sort of guides you around the bar, where there is a large keg and another right beside it. And he sort of gives you some cups and just shows you that it's just a tap turn.
Yeah.
And it does say Shan's sip on it.
As I'm doing that, I leave a gold coin on the bar.
As you go to take the drinks, it is gone.
Yeah.
He goes to what looks to be a chest of some kind. As he opens it, you can see there's ice, and there are what looks to be a whole manner of fruits inside. And he takes some oranges out, he takes some apples, he just basically grinds it all up in a matter of minutes, and he gives you sort of a combination juice.
Fantastic. Okay, that's good.
Mocktail.
Mocktail. Alright, so we okay to take a seat?
Bring over the beers.
Alright, let's take a seat. Always I'll come and chat to you shortly.
Of course, yes.
Well, you must fill me in about when you've heard of the Viper.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you are ready, of course.
He doesn't give much away in this group. I think he may be a bit modest for the stories that you hear.
I'll let my actions talk for me.
Yes, we will talk.
Alright, bring the beers over. And the juice. Here's your mocktail.
Do you make that noise as you do it?
Yeah.
No. Clunking lightly on the
I'm gonna
table.
look over at Barclays and I'm gonna whisper and hope that Rook doesn't hear and say, "Has he already had a drink?"
Always.
Rook.
Oh, Rook.
He's an alcoholic, okay. Good.
Okay. So, as you taste the beers, they are a beautiful light pale colour with a very high alcohol content. The tartness that comes out of it hits you really, really quickly, and it sort of overwhelms you for a moment as you taste a very, very hoppy flavour. But then, as it goes down, you then have this fruits of the forest, berries, and so blackberries and blueberry finish. This sweet at the back of the throat, a sweet taste, which actually feels quite pleasant. The juice is a combination pineapple and peach and apple. You taste, and it's quite cold and nice.
Tropical.
I slam my beer down like, oh, yes, it has been a while. How good is this beer in a place like this?
What's it called? Sundown?
Yes, it's what?
This
It's not sundown,
is South Carolina. What's the name of this?
Shan's sip.
huh? Sean, sit.
Oh, my bad.
Sundown.
I'm down.
No, what's sundown?
Do you want to try?
What? Are you offering
And
me?
then I'd go back to drinking.
What is you offering me?
Big.
Alcohol, yeah.
Oh. Is that called Sundown?
Sean, sit.
Oh,
Yeah.
why do you look so confused?
Is that good?
Well, here we are.
Okay.
Amara doesn't really drink that much, ever. So when she takes a sip, she kind of goes,
Doesn't taste very good, does it? You here, only you. Behind you, another familiar, the same familiar voice.
oh, I was like, what the fuck?
Sonari leaning up against the wall behind. Just relaxed in a relaxed pose.
Do we all hear that?
No, just me.
Oh, that's your little. That's your Anyway.
Hey, fuck you. She's not little.
She's huge.
She's 6'4". No, like Amara actively jumps and then like looks back and doesn't care that she's speaking out loud. She just says, "It's really scary. You shouldn't sneak up on me like that." And then I say, yeah, no, it doesn't taste good at all. It tastes awful.
But is like, PM question, does it actually taste good? Or is it just because Amara doesn't drink much beer?
The latter.
Alright, good.
Huh?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's just, it's scenario.
Wait, you can hear?
You guys can hear me talking. You can't hear her. I said that I
thought you
spoke
said
out
that.
loud.
Okay, nice.
So like to you guys, you would have just seen like Amara turn around and talk to a wall.
A bit. You need to have another sip.
Amara, have you ever been
Relax.
Have I been drunk? I don't think I would have been. No.
No.
Hey, Rook. Amara could use another drink, I think.
As much as I'd love to enjoy the festivities here tonight, we do have an ordeal in front of us.
Yes, that's true. We do need to talk and relax. And talk and relax. Maybe a few more beers. But yes. What is our next step? What is our next move?
I thought we were tracking down Byseilu.
Yes, but I mean, tonight.
I don't know. Is there anyone you want to seduce in the spot?
Can I look around? Just have to check.
Sure, go for it.
Alright, cool.
You can have some of my juice.
Is it nice? Oh, that was
What's going on with
teetering.
Twitter?
That was teetering.
Yes.
9.
Hey, that's the same age as Gunnar.
Huh?
Looking around, moving on. You seem to see very much a industrial workman looking crowd. It's very much a sooty, dirty crowd of dwarves, humans, and warforged. In fact, there are very few women in this particular place at this particular time. One or two female dwarves that seem to be just having the same sort of revelry and chats as the males. You see that there are a couple of female humans. They seem to be having very heavy drink as well. One of them is quite intoxicated and just slamming her drink onto the one of the tables a fair way away.
Does she look like she could handle herself really well?
I mean, there are very sinewy looking arms about her.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks quite rough looking.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell from this vantage point, but she's very rowdy. Otherwise, that's it.
Could she
Yeah.
handle a 6'2" man?
Well, no, I was like, this is not my type of bushwire, I don't think. But, Rook, if you want to go head to another bar fight, you can have a go over there.
How much are you gonna bet?
10 gold.
I took your gold last time.
Yeah, we can see how we go.
Everyone you meet in bars?
Guys, I don't
No, actually, we shouldn't do this. This
Guys-
is a fine Galanda establishment, and this is not what
Guys,
we're
we
about.
shouldn't draw attention to
Yeah,
ourselves here.
indeed. Right. So I might actually go have a
D&D indeed.
Indeed. I might go have a chat to Alex and just see if he has any word of anything that might aid us or any particular news that might be interesting.
I'm
Another
gonna sip
two
of my
drinks,
beer.
And I'll send some more drinks over and some more juice.
And an early night, I think maybe the schedule.
Mm.
I'm gonna
I
sip
know
of
what
my
you
beer,
mean.
but every time I drink it, I'm gonna go,
I may accompany you. I wouldn't mind listening to this conversation if you know something.
Sure. Thulrom, what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm just going to head out and just check outside to see if there's anything around. Make sure we're pretty guarded.
I want to finish your beer.
He sort of takes it, just downs it in one, and then very lightly places it on. I know, won't let me get drunk. And he sort of,
Indeed.
that's such a Thulrom thing to say.
and then he turns and gives you a bit of a nod. Gotcha. And he sort of starts heading out.
Have you guys walked off yet?
Not yet.
No, yeah. No.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna kind of do the wait. Before you go, don't ask too many questions. If we want to surprise Byseilu, We don't want to talk about this. We want to keep this quiet.
Amara is right. But the...
There's every possibility we'll just be talking about bars and inns.
I must admit, I do have a great concern in this area. With all the Warforged and Byseilu being in league with the Lord of Blaze, this is the perfect place to recruit from.
What? Okay.
I don't feel very easy here. I don't feel good.
Getting in and out.
Why, is it because it's hot outside and there's manual labour around and
Yes, that's exactly
no
why.
nice pastures or anything like that? What's wrong with this place?
It's not a nice place.
I see.
But it's a place where people do make a living. So
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
Everyone
That's also where
deserves to make a living, and that's why there's a pub for everyone.
Okay, that's great. Just don't ask too many questions, yeah? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good. I'm going to go back to sipping my beer.
Alright.
Alright, where is he?
He's still at the bar, behind the bar.
He's behind the bar?
Yes.
Okay. He's only short, so is he standing on a box?
No, you can see it from where your standing point.
So is he like...
The bar itself is actually a little bit lower to accommodate.
Oh, right, it's like this,
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so you go over and I'll pull out a small chair and sit down.
I
Welcome back, sir.
take my mug and assume it's okay that I'm still behind the bar, and I clean it and put it aside. And
Now, Alex, first things first. We would like to arrange some rooms if that's okay.
Of course.
Are you able to send a key over to my young tall friend over there?
Yes. It shall be done.
Yeah, and actually, maybe another juice as well.
Of course.
Yes.
He promptly makes another one.
Barclays, would you like another beer?
Yeah, indeed. Yes,
And
I
myself
love
another
it.
one, put another gold coin.
Exchange.
Yeah.
Okay. A full mug of beer frothing on top is in front of you.
Perfect, cool.
Excellent. So, how goes the house?
House Commander goes well, it travels well. The influence is high, profits are up. I don't hear too much coming from this establishment. Rumour is met with scorn a little here. Rumour is valuable, but dangerous, very dangerous. Wrong things said to the wrong person in this area can lead to uncomfortable interactions. So I feel like, apart from yourself, sir, I keep my mouth shut and just go about my day without causing any trouble. As you can see, I may not be able to handle myself if things went south.
Okay.
I'm sure that wrinkly face of yours has seen some adventure in its time.
I have a few tricks still, yes. Oh, I've been
Solid
solid
halfling luck.
I mean, Talenta Plains was my home of birth, but
Talenta Plains.
Time to play.
Talenta Plains.
well, the home of House Galander, of course. But those are the days.
You go and read my notes.
Awful. Terrible.
But yes, those were the days long gone. Apart from this one, recent event, as I was saying to Barclays, the white himself, managed to acquire perhaps a very key item for your grandioso, whatever it is you're doing.
So I might just quickly just update him with maybe 5, 7, maybe up to 10 minutes, just some general house chat.
Yep.
Because being that I'm an envoy essentially for the house, so going between houses, and he is here, so probably just bringing him up to speed, just let him know a couple of the stories and what's happening in certain establishments and stuff like that, just keeping him in the loop.
Are you mentioning
Yeah.
perhaps the killings in Krona Peak, which you were privy to? Remember the gift, the in Rote,
Yeah.
who told you about the murders in Krona Peak in the Raw Holes at some house going in the inns?
Yes.
Are you particularly mentioning that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's we're networked, so we're sharing that kind of information as well. And I would just say, like, has such things kind of, I don't know, have the rumours gone as far as here, and has there been anything to be concerned about? Yeah.
He responds to that particular point with a shocked look. He
Yeah.
says, I have not heard of such a thing. It is a dangerous time to be living, of course. No, nothing like that has occurred here. which is I would not let it happen. My duty is here, and I will protect this place quite violently. So no, I imagine that this will not occur here. You can have my guarantee.
Well, you honor the house. You honor the house, my good man.
Always try.
Did you say on the house?
Don't mind this one. Even if he loses his ability to talk, he'll still be good entertainment.
Oh, of course, I'm sure. What else did you want to know from me?
Well, yes, you did mention like an item. What have you heard?
Nothing really of recourse that may affect yourself particularly. The king is in town. The king already knows himself. And
We didn't know that. Did we know
you were aware that
I forgot that.
that? Okay, yeah.
Actually, you might not have known. Sorry, you may not have known that. Apologies. Sorry, I'm thinking of Rose. No, you didn't know. So this is new news to you.
Oh, I look at Rourke and I'm like, King?
King Coronel himself. He's come to visit here. He may only be here for a short time, as far as I'm aware. You should see him before you go.
Yeah.
You've met him, have you not?
Yeah,
a person of stature like yourself.
I have indeed met the king before.
Of course.
But he's being humble once more. He's in good connection with some of his court.
And his advisors as well. We have a good rapport.
Bedroom.
We're not there.
Correct. Thank you again.
I was like,
Would have been good though.
Very sharp.
yes, we know the king. We do.
Of course you do. Well, the king is here. There are plenty of things happening in China, as they do festivals. There are bridges and restorations and plentiful number of arcane and mundane things like shipments in from the Dagger River, as usual. There's talk of this army that's travelling here, but I haven't heard anything more than that from Zalaga. But I don't know more than what's going on there. Rumor and conjecture.
Has work picked up here regarding that? Has the city taken arms?
No, the guards haven't really been. If they are alerted, I'm sure they're doing what they must. But no, there hasn't been an increase in number of guards or anything like that. The city hasn't closed. There's no real fear. No, I think it's simply rumor.
Simply rumor. So business is still being steady. That's good to know.
Steady and profitable. So yes.
That's good.
Absolutely. You can tell. You can go back and let them know.
I will indeed. I will indeed.
Might I ask, Alexel?
He has actually had a few drinks. That's okay. He has had a few drinks.
Olix, are you aware of another possibly competing tavern called the Sleeping Snake?
Oh yes, not competing, of course. They are just an establishment down the way. We have a few inns. That one is frequented by the same sort of folk you see in here. After a hard day's work, they go and take their fill. Not necessarily rivals, as you might have put it, but of course, if I get the gold for the drinks, I always salute, and we trade things every now and again with other inns, the Sleeping Snake included, the sort of different drinks we try out. There's a sort of an agreement, if you will, that we'll do our fair share. You know, trying to get profits as we see fit, and as we see us. We don't do any sort of violent acts against each other. You know what I'm saying.
Interesting. The Sleeping Snake is they may be a friend of yours. Is there a possibility we may be able to deliver anything on your behalf to them?
Well, I have. I am a bit of a brewer myself, actually. I've come across a particular type of brew which gives off this quite amazing taste. And I'm wondering if perhaps, if you are going that way, I'm, as you can see, a bit busy here, perhaps you can deliver it?
I may need to wait until the morning, but would that be okay?
Of course, that's fine. If you need to rest, yes, please do.
And for the delivery, is there a back way that we may be able to make ourselves in so we're not impeding into the...
I mean, feel free just to come in through the front.
Would you normally take this delivery yourself, or would you get one of your employees to do so?
No, I would, and I normally do.
Okay, I see. We might need. We'll have a chat. We might need to get some assistance, perhaps.
May I ask in what regard?
But that's after we have a chat.
Huh.
We'll let you know.
That's a strange fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
So he sort of half nods and
Yeah.
has a bit of a furrowed brow, but is quite agreeable.
Now, you said you had an item. What item do you have?
Would you like to see that now, sir?
Sure.
Very well. I believe you find it particularly useful for what you're doing. He sort of looks around, lowers his voice, and he says, I came across this in my younger days, and I really haven't found it useful. Part of the reason is I haven't quite 100% been able to control it. But if you do have some sort of idea as to how to do this, he's yours, really. I'm sure you of all people would be able to help. Anyway,
Can I hear this?
yeah, you can.
Did you say he's yours?
Yes, that's right. Best if I show you rather than describe it. He sort of gestures with his hand and starts to walk towards what looks to be the back or the kitchen where you do have those smells and idea that there is a cookout.
Oh, is it going into like another room?
It is.
It is? Okay, just on the way out. Like, so we'll follow him, yeah?
Yep.
So I might just message, just discreetly, message Amara and just say, we're just heading out the back. You might just want to keep an eye on what's happening around here.
Shit, when did Barclays learn how to do that? Is he within 80 feet of me?
Yes, quite so.
I'm gonna say back into his mind, okay, cool, thanks for that. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, you got another beer coming, and there should also be a room key for you as well.
Barclays, are you suggesting me?
I have my own. Well. And I think I kind of like. No, yes, I'll check you in a moment.
Oh my god, I'm rewatching this. Okay.
Amara just kind
Okay, it'll be an interesting night.
of.
So you're going with Alex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess assisting.
Okay. Now, it's been about 10 minutes when you did discuss, around the land of Corbett and its ins. In the meantime, you both, Amara and Gunnar, are sitting, having a bit of a chat, perhaps between yourselves, but looking over, you do see Barclays and Barclays doing most of the talking. Rook simply observing. What are you doing in the meantime?
He's doing most of the drinking.
Gunnar will be sat there, looking
Whoa.
at he would have pulled out his book. He would have also grabbed out that little box of bugs and started feeding Kits some bugs.
Can I feed him one?
Hang on, let me see if I've got that. I'm just checking that.
You
No,
had 3?
I think I had 4. I had 4 left. Yeah, you can give him that. I think that will be enough. And
I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna
yeah,
gently, like a little bit tentatively.
he's not like a paralyzed woman. He's a nice person.
Hey, shut up.
He's a nice person.
Yeah, I'll feed him a bug.
It doesn't seem to matter from which hand this meal comes from. He seems to be quite happy with a live creature to devour. And as you watch this slithering but beautiful looking creature of a small dragon comes out from the depths of the vestments of Gunnar and just takes a bite and crunches, and you can see that and hear that small
It's an awful noise.
crunching of bones and plates of
It's the
meat.
bug dying.
I don't like that noise.
You can see sort of little white yellow bits of flesh sort of sticking out.
I don't want to do it anymore.
And you hear a response very softly but out loud to you both. It says, so I am very pleased that we are here and you can have this meal prepared, but I do notice that you are running out. So with your permission I'll get you to speak more, because this has been a very sumptuous meal. I am parched again as usual, but when you are ready, please.
Did you want
please.
some juice? It's not very good. It's tropical.
He sort of gives it a couple of licks with his long tongue and says, "This suffices, but do not interrupt me again."
So I hear that
Sort of
too.
hisses a little bit at perhaps not being completely full, as he
Oh,
would
there's
like to
4.
be.
So you want more than 4?
Seems to be the case.
Wait, did I hear all of that out loud? He's really smart.
Yeah, I said that. He's not an animal.
You haven't introduced me to your.
I've
What
told
is
you
it?
guys about him before.
I think you told mostly Rook who likes animals.
You were there.
Was I?
Yeah.
Fuck. There's a lot that's happened.
Anyway,
I don't drink often.
I have a question for you. Can you help with the spell again? Or you already helped with that part, didn't you?
I helped
You did
translate.
all of it. Okay.
The
I can just do
translation
it
side of
myself.
things has been completed, yes.
Okay.
I mean, if I can do anything else, I can try. I don't think I can though. I'm not really that good at spells. I don't really cast spells. Well, I mean, I cast some spells. They're not really that good though.
What can you do?
What do you mean? You see me. You see me do the silence thing and the darkness thing. I can make things quiet and I can make things dark, and I can make us a little sneakier, and I can make myself see in the dark. But I can actually also, well, if I was feeling a little bit better, I can actually cast a spell, which means that I can create like a little sound or an object. It's not too big, it's pretty small. But I can do it. I just haven't really done it yet.
Wait, say that again. You can do
I can cast a spell. It's not really like a normal spell. It uses, like I use like shadow magic more than anything. So I can essentially make a shape or a sound. It's kind of an illusion. It's a small illusion.
that. That's the stuff that I can do.
Oh really?
But I don't know if I can do that. How does it work?
I mean,
How does it work? A simple mind he has, doesn't he? Scenario says to you.
I laugh out loud. I just laugh and I go, he's really nice when you get to know him. But yes, you're right. And I look over my shoulder as I say that. And then I keep laughing. And that's all I do. Because I'm drinking, so I'm probably not used to this. So that question just never really got answered.
So you don't know how it works? Is this more like an ability that you have that you just knew? Or did you learn it?
I learned it at my monastery.
So how did you learn it? What did they do?
It's a really long story. Also, it comes down to why? Why are we talking about this?
Because I would like to know how it works.
It's just part of who I am. It's years of training. I started training when I was a kid. Honestly, I've suppressed a lot of memories from that place because I don't like thinking about it.
Okay.
But a lot of, you have to understand that a lot of what I can do comes from not me. Comes
Okay.
from Sonari.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool until a group of people want to murder your entire race.
What does that have to do with it?
A lot.
So you're saying they want to murder you because of what you can do?
I mean, they want to murder every color star. We're pretty hunted by certain people. Why do you think I'm wearing a hood in here?
Can every color star do what you do?
No, we're different. We're different. A lot of color stars don't really dabble in shadow arts much.
So why do you do it
The
then?
monastery that I was at, we chose to because to understand the light, you need to understand the dark as well.
Okay. That makes sense. That's why I ask questions.
I'm not
Because
very
if you
good
don't
at
ask, you don't know.
not very good at answering questions.
That's okay.
Not the
We can
most
work on that.
charming of people.
We can work on that.
White boxes can't save.
Hmm?
White boxes can't save.
No.
Oh.
No, you gotta seduce me to that bar, please.
Well, I don't know who you're talking to, but that's very confusing.
And then I'm just gonna like rub my temples for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back to, I guess, sipping up my drink.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna say, wait. Real question though. I know you said you've been stuck as 9 for a very long time.
Yes? What was the question?
Is there anything that you're afraid to tell us that maybe we should know? We just want to help you.
No,
And I know that
I'm not afraid of telling you something.
I know that you don't understand a lot about what happened to you, and you don't remember a lot as well. But you have to understand that the reason that
Do you want to read my book? Is that what you want to do?
I don't know if I want to read your book. It
Well,
looks long.
It is long, because I've had 20 years of writing in it. But, like, I said this to Rook, and I'll say it to anyone. I write in it so that I can help myself remember things.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the only reason that Thulrom and Rook and, well, sometimes Barclays, I guess, he doesn't really take much interest.
I sometimes forget who you guys are.
Really?
Yeah.
So you use the book to remember?
Yeah.
Oh. We just want to help.
I
We just
know.
want to help you. That's the only reason that they ask questions. They're not.
I know. I don't have a problem with questions. It's when you don't like my answers that I have a problem.
I don't think I do that.
Not you.
Who does that?
Rook can get a bit pushy. But that's okay. I know that he just doesn't understand, but it's really hard to help someone who
I think
doesn't
it's,
believe you.
I think it's hard for any of us to understand everything that we've all been through. It's hard for you to obviously understand what I've been through. That's why you ask questions, right?
Because I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
But I like to be open about that.
No, I know. I'm not accusing you of not. I'm just trying to show you what the other side looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure it out together. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff in this book that I can't do, but I used to be able to do.
Really? Like what?
Destroy a person's mind.
Oh.
I think I stopped myself from doing it because it was bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a nice thing to do.
I was,
Were you a bad person?
no, I was being made into something else.
You don't know.
That's what I don't know.
We'll
But
figure it
I
out.
stopped them, but they're still coming.
We'll figure it out. And then we'll kill him.
I don't know if he can be killed. I thought I killed him. He's still alive. He can be anyone. He can change his appearance like I can.
Like,
This was his hat.
isn't that similar to what Byseilu said?
Hmm?
She mentioned a changeling could change their face.
Well, I don't know if, because he used this hat, that's how I can change who I look like.
Ah, so not like a changeling.
I don't know who he is. I don't know who he really is.
Okay. Interesting. We'll figure it out. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but maybe soon.
He also hurt kids. That's how we met.
I look at Kips and I go, you mean this guy?
Yeah. I'll like gently grab his tail and show you the tip of it, and it's been cut off.
Oh.
To the end of it, so it looks like a little nub. Looks kind of more like a normal tail.
Ben's been saying the word nub like the last 4 days in the worst context.
So normally at the end of his tail, there's like a really powerful stinger that can put you to sleep. But he chopped it off.
Is that why you take care of Kips?
We take care of each other.
You're a good friend.
It's what you would do.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm pretty selfish.
Oh, okay.
That's a lie, I'm not really. But I can be.
I don't think so.
You don't know
Except
me.
for that time you punched me, that wasn't very nice.
You don't walk up and scare someone while they're meditating.
That's not how I remember it.
That's how I've trained my brain to remember it.
Okay. Then maybe it's true.
I apologize.
I know.
I can't do much more than that, so... That was a long time ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks is a long time now. Fuck! And then I just finished my drink and slammed the glass down.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please, Amara.
No! I've been waiting for this to happen.
Can I also just say while we were having a chat, I was trying to transcribe more of that spell, but...
It'll be counted.
Not too bad.
Okay.
It's a 12.
A 12? Okay. You feel yourself start getting into a feeling which you really haven't experienced before. And it only occurs probably within the manner of that conversation, that you went from a sound mind and vision to the rooms seeming slightly off centre, as though you were on a boat, but
Shit.
the boat doesn't seem to be stopped swaying, and you are finding yourself blinking and putting your hands on the
Yeah, I was
table
gonna say, I
to
do
try
that
and
thing where
steady
I was like-
yourself,
Whoa.
and a bit nauseous in the stomach, but so far you're
Is
holding.
everything okay?
Constitution check.
Save. Yep.
You okay? When you used to go to bed, you look like you might be a little bit sick.
I don't really want to move right now. I'm gonna sit here.
I can help if you want. I can take you.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna sit here for a moment. I want to see what Barclays and Rook were doing anyway. They've gone to some weird room.
At that point they have. Are you doing anything else at the moment, Gunnar?
No, just that. So I'll continue to transcribe.
Meanwhile, back at Barclay and Rook, so we've got a a path leading into the kitchen as Orlix leads you past the chefs. There are probably 3 chefs there, a huge roaring fireplace, 2 sort of benches, long benches that seem to have all sorts of fish and vegetables, and they're chopping them up and they're putting it into a pan and it's frying. Otherwise, there's on the other side, above this roaring fire, a huge spit of half a cow that just seems to be turning slowly. It seems to be half cooked, and you are led into another doorway beyond. You leave looking at these 2 warforged and a human that are just in a very like a beret, like in a chef's outfit, but a beret to boot, just tossing these things aside and cutting and doing all manner of things, quite professional looking. and you wouldn't think any less. You expect that sort of outlook.
Smells pretty good in here, actually.
Spices, herbs, all galore. And you go into this next room, where immediately it changes from this loud, hot area, and you can almost feel the breeze, as though you're in a forest or in the outdoors, at the beach or something. There's this cool breeze that seems to be very different from the very stillness that happened in the room behind. And he locks this wooden door behind him with a set of keys. He says, "Three more, it's fine." He leads you down a set of stairs in this small, you went into from the kitchen, there's a small landing where it led downward. And you pass level 1, where there's storage of barrels, foods and drinks. You continue down and he unlocks a door that's on the stairway itself, a gate of sorts, and locks it behind him. He continues down 2 more levels.
Level. Getting a bit nervous, are you?
As you continue down, the wind
Do you still have your drink with you? Like,
Yeah.
You're getting low?
So I was actually about to say, like, this is not a short walk.
I'm like, wherever we're going, whatever you're going to show me, you must be obviously kept safe. Is there still ale down in this basement for my colleague here?
It's in another storeroom, of course, we'll be able to accommodate. We're nearly there, and 1 more level, and as you went down, this small breeze picks up. It's seemingly coming from nowhere. There are no windows, there are nowhere that would lead outside. But the wind continues to rise as speed as sound. And as you get to this bottom gate, where the small landing is, he opens it gently, but as you see, he splits, and you can see the gate clang, clang, clang against the bars that make up the stairway and the staircase. It's this black metal, and he closes it. He catches one of the metal grates and closes it behind him once more. And there's simply an open door and darkness in front of you, where this door is slamming against the doorway, back and forth clattering, and you can see cracks in the wood. And he says, "No one is allowed down here, of course. The best ales in Corvée are kept here. Darkness, constant temperature. The wines, beautiful. And this." And he gives you a bit of a wink, and he sort of gestures for you to lead in.
What can I see? I've got dark vision, so...
Inside. Please stand. Back in the line.
Yeah.
Inside, you see
Where's my close range challenge?
a large square cage, and on the outside of the room, barrels with beautiful scents coming from it, foodstuffs. But this is the center, a large metal cage, whirring wind, almost gale force coming from just this room, the clattering of wood against wood in this room. A stool, a sitting stool, just outside of the cage, unmoving, where on top of it, a beautiful copper or bronze looking oil lamp. From this lamp, swirling a string of smoke, blue, dark blue, and at the end of it, within the cage itself, arms crossed, floating in the air.
It's Will Smith.
You got there. I thought I could describe it, but you got there before I did. What looks to be a floating, blue, muscular, humanoid figure with a white turban on his head.
It's Will Smith.
This smoke ends up being dark and almost blackened as it reaches its legs, which are below the knee. There are no legs, simply wisps of smoke that go round and round. You can see on the muscular sides of his wrists simple golden bracelets. You can see a singlet around him of red. You can see he's wearing this black, thick beard and moustache, these wrinkled blue face, dark black eyes. And on the turban itself, this single red feather with a red ruby in it. And a majestic looking being that's simply still. But from the inside, you see that this is a large wind force. Olex turns and says, I captured the djinn.
How did you do that, Alex? And yes, why? Explain.
We were traveling in the Elven reaches, and we just happened across what looked to be just a simple doorway that led into this long hallway. And the long hallway had doors on either side, hundreds and hundreds. We traversed the entire thing. We opened the door and there was this land of red fire. We simply quickly closed it, opened another, and there was this other door that led into this land of green, lush, fade creatures. We closed that door and there was another with dragons and another, and we were overwhelmed. There were travellers going back and forth between this hallway of wonder. There were inns within as well that were housing and giving drinks I've never drunk before from lands of untold beauty and darkness. And there's this one of air that simply was without gravity. We were able to float within it, and there were these enormous castles, enormous towers just floating. And then we found this item that seemed to be just floating and lost, and we took it. And then somehow this thing came out of it, and it didn't really like being where it was, and tried to go back, but we were concerned for our safety, so we locked it up.
Yes, I see. Wow, okay. So have you tried to coerce with it, talk to it?
Plenty, but it's good that you have not gone in yet, because the whirling winds, they have some sort of effect on you. I've attempted to get close, but I simply am kept in one place by this swirling. It seems to have control over whatever elements are within. Mm-hmm. Once I'm outside, I'm fine. It's in a particular radius, I believe. But it is without word. It doesn't seem to want to speak.
Well, and I look at Rokumon. Look at what we've got here.
Do you not have a blade that throws such elements?
My windy blade.
Maybe it'll coerce with you.
Good point. What does Barclays know about djinns?
I'll get you to make just a history check to see what you read.
Okay, and that would be, that's 10.
10? Okay. All you've really read up on when it comes to djinn, specifically, is that they are considered by scholars to be of different varieties depending on elements. So there are different varieties. There are fire genies, there are air genies, there are earth genies, there are water genies, and each type may or may not be aligned to each other and have the same outlook. So they all seem to live separately. They are extremely intelligent, powerful creatures that, rumor has it, can grant wishes. That's all you really get from your knowledge.
Alex, have you let anyone else know that you have a djinn in your basement?
Well, my companions, whom I travelled with, we've since disbanded, and they've gone their separate ways. One has died, unfortunately, under unsuspicious circumstances, but others, they simply live in peace most of them back in the Talenta Plains. No, others no. I have not let anyone else.
So no one has coerced with this gin.
Not that I'm aware of. I have the only key. But I wanted to let you know because I feel like this will be an enormously profitable and spectacular addition to whatever you're building.
Indeed, potentially it could. I mean, if what I understand is true, then most definitely it could be valuable. One moment. Do you want to ask any?
Yeah. Might I ask, who are your companions?
You mean
Your previous companions?
I mean, there were people that we happened to come across that I happened to come across when I was young and wild in my younger days, and decided that a home life with my father being a scholar, which is not the right one for me. So I traversed between inns and taverns and whorehouses and other means of entertainment. We gathered up our commonalities and went on our ways and seek fortune. We then decided after some time that we've had our adventures enough, hung up our shields and magics, decided to live peacefully. Nothing untoward, but just a decision we all had together.
And may I ask, what did you specialize in this group?
I dabbled in a little bit of conjuration. The magics that I'd learned along my travels allowed me to bring creatures from other planes of existence here, which is why I was particularly interested in this one and wanted to keep it. Just because I had never really been able to conjure or bring into effect this type of creature, this more simple elemental, yes, simple-minded and easy to command. But this is different. This is enormously has more potential than I feel like I know.
I think there may be an opportunity for you to outsmart the Viper. What could you tell us of the genie? Of genies that you know of?
Well, since gathering this, I've done quite a bit of research actually. What specifically do you want to know?
Viper?
Actually, just while you guys were having that conversation, I put out my little copper wire and I'm like, Gunner.
Can I hear him?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I was far enough away. Can you hear that? You hear that back.
That's a good point. I'm pretty sure. Do we, are the floors and stuff made of lead?
The floor's made of lead. Looking down, you can see that this looks like a simple stone room. Lead doesn't seem to be.
Probably won't be able to actually talk to Gunner. You can cast a spell through solid objects if you are familiar with the target, yes. And no. Magical silence, 1 foot of stone or 1 inch of one thin sheet lead.
There are plenty of feet of stone between you and
So
that
it doesn't have to follow the direct line of sight.
We can travel freely around corners and
That will be
through.
fine.
Okay, cool. Just took a little while.
So you asked me if I can hear that.
But you hear the response in your head.
It's me. You've heard of me, it's Barclays.
Barclays? Yeah?
Yes, I'm new to this thing. You wouldn't believe, we're about 3 floors down. And there's something interesting down here that you might want to see. I should just tell you.
That sounds ominous.
Have you ever seen or encountered a djinn before?
Not to your knowledge.
No? What is that?
It's a magical creature from another plane, and it might be able to do some interesting things, like make what we want come true.
Like a wraith?
Yeah. I think if you can, grab Amara. You should come down here.
Do I know anything about wishes?
I can't know.
Now, did he shut the door behind us? Did he shut every other door? No, he locked the door behind us.
He shut and locked every door. So 4 doors in total. Yes. He seemed to be very cautious about just traveling there.
Okay.
Security.
Okay, hang on a second. Is a it's 23.
23. You know nothing. Just no. No, you do.
Oh, I got really excited then. I was like, holy fuck! That's a high DC!
You do know quite a bit. No, 23 reveals quite a lot. You know everything that Barkley does, so as I mentioned before, the different types depending on the elemental type. Oh, wishes, sorry. The spell itself has certainly been a spell that many, an archmage and mages and scholars have studied, attempted to replicate. Dragons have even ancient ones. Some of them cannot attain such power in a single spell. One that allows the caster or the recipient of that spell to utter words of power, something that they most utterly desire, and whatever they utter, whatever they say that they would like, it seems to come about. Writings have told of ancient beings that have been greedy, and whenever encountering this, and that has been on rare occasions indeed, squander it, riches or lordships. Some elves of ancient times, in writings that you've seen, may have asked for dead beings, dead relatives to be returned to life. Stories to be untold, people to be forgotten, their own lives to be null and void. There are, and you can't quite recall, but there are wishes that have been told that have gone awry. Ones that perhaps the teller of such things may not have perfected the spell or said the right things, and calamitous events have proceeded. It's hard to tell what those specifics are. You can't quite recall that, but very rare people can grant wishes, and genies are certainly one of them. If caught, and if subdued, to whatever extent that means, they seem to be able to provide such power. And so for that reason, genies, among others, are one, very, very intelligent enough to hide and not make themselves known for the most part, and two, powerful enough to defend themselves if they are.
What stops them from being uncaught? I don't know.
Someone more powerful, it seems. Or simply luck.
There's something really bad down
Huh?
there. Do you know what a djinn is?
Do I know what a djinn is?
You can rely on history, sorry.
Yeah, I'll roll history, but you don't have to give me the run.
No, no,
Well, depending on your role, it'll be like half of what I said.
Yeah, exactly right.
Do
Yeah,
I-
I'll compress it.
Do I roll normally
Normal history check.
under these effects that I'm currently feeling?
Disadvantage.
The effects you're feeling at the moment won't impede
They're
on
more
your...
physical.
They're more physical, you got it.
Still shit. 9.
9.
Yep. As much as Barclays
I think
does...
it's Will Smith.
as much as Barclays does, so the different elemental types you're aware of, you are not really privy to their homes or anything like that, where they live, but you know that there are air, fire, earth, and water elementals. Oh, sorry, they are elementals and they are genie types depending on what elements.
They're there.
There's one downstairs. And he can grant wishes.
Gunnar. It's not funny.
I'm not laughing.
Like, God, he's still there.
Hang on a second.
Okay, be quick.
What do you... Okay. What do you want me to do?
I don't think we should go down there. It's very dangerous.
That works well for me. I don't know. I'm gonna like try and stand, and I'm gonna get halfway up and not like the feeling and sit straight back down and say, yep, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna not move.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't contact him back now, but if he calls me again...
I can. Maybe. 80 feet? I
That's
can.
fine, yeah.
I can.
Tell him that he's in danger.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
And then I like close my eyes and I telepathically speak to Barclays and I say, Ghana told me that I should tell you you're in danger.
I see.
You can respond, I'll give you without the wire.
I see.
Give you that ability.
Yes, I understand that. But
You should leave.
if I talk to Gunnar, we're always in danger. What type of... Ask Gunnar what type of danger, like, get him to rate this danger on a Gunnar scale.
You know what that is.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Barclays asked me to tell you that he didn't understand the kind of danger, and if you could rate it on a scale of Gunnar danger, what would that be?
I don't know what that is, but...
Let's just say
that
1 to
creature-
10.
That creature can make him cease to exist. It can make all of us disappear like we never existed.
That doesn't sound good. 1 moment, please. And I close my eyes and I squeeze them tight. And I speak to Barclays in his head and he can speak back and I say, Gunnar said to tell you that this creature can make us not exist anymore. So you would not be Barclays the Viper and none of us would exist.
That's pretty bad. So that's like 4 Gunners out of 5.
He said he didn't understand the scale.
See. Alright.
I can't move.
Okay. Well, thank Gunnar. We should be up soon, I think. Unless we don't exist.
Okay, let me tell him. Gunnar,
Yeah.
Barclays told me to tell you that it was 4 Gunners out of 5. And
I'm not that powerful.
that it should be... that sounds really bad. And that they should be up soon, and thank you.
As you say this, those words that you're speaking, you can feel a little bit of of stuff, acid coming up your throat now, and I need you to make another Constitution saving throw with all that speaking, please. Constitution.
Which dice am I going to use? The little one. Constitution saving.
Mm-hmm.
Still not great, but better than last time. It was a 13.
13, okay.
Unlucky.
You take a deep breath and keep whatever bile is within you down for now. Dizziness is still mild, but there. What are you doing?
You look like you're gonna be sick.
Don't judge me.
I'm not. I'm just scared.
I'm good, I feel fine.
This is serious. Whatever is down there is really dangerous.
Yep, we can deal with that tomorrow, I think, maybe.
I don't know. Should we stay here?
Yes, we should. Mostly because...
Would you stay here if it was Byseilu downstairs? Would you stay here if it was a dragon downstairs?
In the meantime.
Is it a dragon in the dungeon?
If Byseilu was sitting on a dragon?
In the dungeon? Dungeons and Dragons in Byseilu?
What are you guys doing in the meantime?
Right, so after gaining that actually quite useful information, I'll say.
Yeah,
Like, hey Rook, you wanna run in that cage?
oh my god.
My friend hasn't answered me yet about the question that the research he's done on that, or is it very similar to what?
No, he says, well, genies, powerful creatures, they are very noble. They treat themselves as very aloof and above quite a lot. They're very arrogant creatures. For the most part. They are, in fact, some of them have slaves, but some have slaves that don't like that they have slaves. Some of them are good creatures. They see everything as a matter of fact, and they take everything very seriously, and they stay in their citadels of fire or water or air, and they live there with their servants and with beautiful, majestic, kingly, I guess, silks and clothing and entertainment and wine. I haven't been to a particular one myself. How I would love that one last time. But some of them are haughty and cruel, and they whip their slaves and they torture them, and it's not very good. I have known of a particular name of a genie, of a type of genie, Ifriti. Now, Ifriti, who do not want to come across. The people who have come across those have been captured, and evil has been bestowed upon them, and they're very evil types of genies. This one, he's very excitedly pointing towards this dark blue. This one, it's called just a genie. And there is Dao as well. So Dao, Ifriti, and Merid. There's Merid. So there's plentiful types. And well, the genie here, he is a good genie. He's
He's not harmed you in any way, though you've been caught in his...
I've been caught, but he's let me go each time. It's more of a warning, and I've respected it. Even in my youth, I was a little bit, I guess, pushy and attempted many times to go in, but he's been patient with me, and I've learned my lesson. No scars, no damage or anything to me. So I respect him, and he respects that. I must keep him there until I find a worthy person to take him off my hands, and here you are.
Why don't you just take him back to the FATES?
Well, okay. Into where?
The Fey Wilds. Where you found him?
Well, I found him in the elemental plane of air, actually.
Well, forgive me.
No, that's okay. The reason I didn't take him back was he informed me that I may make a wish once every year. That's what I've been doing.
So you're capitalizing off this genie.
Maybe. I mean, wouldn't you? If you had something like this, some sort of opportunity here, I would invite you. I don't think there would be a person on Corvette who would look down upon that decision. I think, I'm doing things for good though, please be aware. And he only grants me one per year. I believe that we converse, and he has told me that it is all that he can allow. It's all within his power. So, the last one I did, let me think. I own an inn. It is.
Can I converse
humble.
with the genie?
What's that?
Can I converse with the genie?
You can certainly try.
So, okay, so you had this. Wait, yeah, go on. How many wishes have you made?
Well, sometimes I skip a year because I'm going on holiday. In the 40s?
Wow, okay. So I can see that, yes, it was when you were young adventuring, I think. Have you noticed any adverse effects following your wishes?
Sometimes. And he sort of looks down a little bit at Forrest's brow and he says, I feel like sometimes it doesn't go as perfectly as I envisioned.
I must admit, Orlux, you've had quite some time with this genie, and you say you've done good, but you're here in the Cogs with an inn.
Well, that's right. I mean, my wishes haven't been extravagant. I didn't want to wish any ill upon anyone. I simply wanted an establishment in the end that I can...
Could I ask, in your opinion, what good have you done with this genie?
Well, the seasons have passed and people live.
The seasons pass every year and people live.
More than usual. I hope I've done good things. There has been... I've sometimes wanted for there not to be the terrible storms that were heading to Shan, and they've simply gone away. I've wanted love, and that has been given. I've wanted...
One of my eyebrows just goes.
I've wanted peace, and since the war, I mean, it's not to say I alone have caused this, not at all, but peace for me. Admittedly, looking back, I may have been a little selfish.
Should we ask the genie?
Ask him what?
All the good deeds that you've served the realm of Corvair.
You sort of stumbled over his words a little bit there.
Plays in the background.
I'm sorry to dampen the mood.
Yeah, I'm like, go easy on Alex. He didn't have to bring us down here. He's
40
decided to do
wishes,
that.
play.
I think he's had a
40 wishes, buddy.
He's had a fill, but it still was his choice to bring us down here. And at this particular point, he's offering us this opportunity. But
That's
I
a
will
great
say,
point.
I will
At
say,
that cost.
yes, I will say, we might want to try and talk to the genie. And you say this is a good genie, and you're willing to give the genie to us.
I think I've had my fill of overindulging, as it were.
I must admit, someone who's taken 40 wishes and wishes to stop doesn't just happen.
Perhaps we can just call it a timely occurrence that you just happened by.
But for the sake of the conversation, nothing happens timely.
Perhaps I made a wish and this being has helped cause you to be here this time, this day. Perhaps it's fate.
Maybe we're in its grip.
Hey guys, how's it going? All right,
We found the boss.
Good.
That's all right. Can the gin hear us from this side?
Yes. This is normally the doorway where I normally converse.
You must forgive my friend Rook. He's most definitely of a good heart. And as you say, if this is a good genie, then he's probably the one that should probably say hello. But from this side of the cage.
My cages.
If you want to go on the other side of the cage.
Let's do it.
If you want to go to the...
Famous last words of any D&D player. Let's just do it.
Maybe yes, but maybe why don't you say hello first from this side of the cage first, and then if he says hello back and you guys are having a good chat, you go in there,
Does he have
sit
a
down,
roll
stay a
saves?
while.
How many beers has he had?
Yeah. I've been meaning to get to it, but yes, you will be rolling a Constitution save before you act.
Is this affecting his decision quality?
I've had 2 beers.
I had one.
These are particularly strong.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll get you to roll a con save, then decide what you'd like to do. And I'll let you know whether it's affecting.
It's not a nat 20.
It's not nat 20, but it is 20.
In total?
In total.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be bothering you at all.
Beastie boy.
You just seem to be enjoying the taste.
Yeah.
Why do you live?
I walk over to the halfling and rub his hair. Let's see. I see a lot of luck here. We have genies, we have halflings.
You're pretty lucky.
That's leprechaun, but that's fine.
Yeah, that sounds like history check.
Fine.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I must admit, if I was some kind of noble creature caught behind a bar, would you not rather have your conversation with somebody that you would trust inside that same place?
Yes, but you got to start the conversation first. Just say hello.
The gin is like right there. You guys you can hear everything you're saying.
Exactly.
No, I'm going
Michele literally just went.
So you're going in?
in. I'm going in.
Olex, Rook, he's of a noble heart, as I've mentioned. Do you feel that him going inside the cage,
Has he already gone in?
talking to a djinn that he's never... Talking to a djinn that he's never ever met before, just off the street, is a good idea?
I don't know.
What's the worst case scenario?
Ceases to exist.
Well, you can. The wind is quite strong. I'd just be wary of that. But I don't believe you can do any harm.
Okay. Should we take a token in, or say that'll
Actually,
appease him or make him more susceptible to a chat, a
I've not
conversation?
needed to do this before.
Okay, alright.
would a token of feather,
What?
A feather token.
yeah, would that affect my pull? Because it stops me from falling
You
fast,
don't
right?
know.
Alright. Alright, Rook.
Waste your token. Go.
Alex, if you could open up the
Got four of
cage
them.
door, my...
Oh, you don't need to open the cage. You just need to go into the room.
I go in.
Oh, there's no cage. I thought it was behind it.
No, it's an open door. It's an open door that's buffeting against.
Oh, right.
This one in front of you that leads into the room is just a buffeting wooden door. That's off its. It's almost off its.
Oh, because
hinges.
it was shutting. wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So he doesn't know that we're. Well, he may be able to hear us, but
You don't know.
I'm going in.
Alright, give me a yell if you need something,
I
alright?
grab my token of feather token, and I pull out some rope
And put
as
it in
well,
my hat.
and tie it to my.
Just imagining you turning into like a featherweight and just being blown all over.
I tie my rope around my hand in preparation to tie myself to something.
Okay.
Do I need to speak something to use my feather token? If I need
You're
to.
gonna use it.
You've experienced
Yeah.
a fall in Shan, and it
Doesn't
seemed
that mean that he doesn't have it anymore?
no. There were a couple more in
Oh, sorry.
the box. That's okay.
I was gonna say, fuck you.
Sentimental. You didn't need to at that point.
Okay.
It simply seemed to have an effect as you were falling close to the bottom to stop you hitting the floor.
Alright, well, I'll leave it in my pouch then, I guess.
Okay. So you're not tying it to your hand?
No, I'm tying a rope to my hand to preparation and maybe tie myself to something if I need to.
As you walk in, you Barclays are beside Orlix, and as you watch It is a very dark room.
Actually, as I walk up to the door, can I just like swill the rest of my alcohol into there
Sure.
and see if it gets thrown back?
Sure. You toss the rest
Throw
of the
alcohol
beer.
at the gin.
As you do, immediately you're walking in and you're tossing it.
Yeah.
The liquid then disappears. It just goes, and it's not necessarily something that goes around the cage or anything. It is a flux of different directional winds. As you continue to walk towards this creature, you feel the start of this wind trying to pull you in a direction, but then all of a sudden push you in another. Make a strength saving throw, please. A strength saving throw. So use your saving throw number.
Negative one.
Sure.
Oh, is that 5 or 9? God, 6.
As you walk, you feel as though you are getting pushed in all directions by this wind inward, and then outward, and then in. And suddenly, as you're trying to move towards this cage, the wind is strong and it stops you. And you are even unable to move your hands up, down, or to the side, because the wind seems to recognize whichever direction you're traveling and it's stopping you. And you are now considered restrained, yes.
Jin, we're here on behalf of Alex. Alex. He mentions that you've been here for some time and that he needs assistance with potentially releasing you, but I must admit, after conversing with Alex, I fear that maybe you are a prisoner here. 40 wishes, 1 a year is a long time to bear inside a cell like this.
40,000 years.
And I ask for your opinion. He tells me you're of noble Jin. A noble Jin. And he tells me he's used his 40 wishes to help all of Corvair, and I wish to know, is this true?
Did you just wish?
You wish? You just used 1 wish. That's 41 wishes now.
And I want to know if this is true.
Fuck. You fucking him. He's fucking
Guys, I've got to wait a year for it.
I'm gonna have to have a break. Oh my fucking god. Ben, what the fuck? Is it a room with Will Smith? Stuff like this. I wish to know. Fuck me. Oh shit. I'm done now.
Okay, so here's what happens.
You die instantly.
The first inkling of understanding from this creature comes from its eyes opening and looking towards you. Its eyes were closed before. It simply smiles slightly. You can see these thin dark blue lips behind this bushy, black, regal-looking beard. And then your mind suddenly does not see the room for a moment. And what seems like a journey, but to Barclays is but moments. You travel, and you see a small halfling that takes and steals, in your mind, is stealing this land from the elemental plane of air, wishing for this halfling's immortality. But then suddenly the halfling is old, but living forever. you see a mountain of gold and this old halfling looking at it forlornly, wondering, what am I to do with this mountain when I have everything? Then you see one love, another man embraced, but then this man quickly perishing, only a year or so suddenly after this embrace, this relationship took place, and a loss that dug deep within Orlis's heart. Wishing death after such a tragedy, a tragic loss. You see him fall from the highest mountain, suffering greatly the pain of death. And again, and again, and again, for his words were not specific. He did not want to die for good. He did not wish to. That was what the genie's mind twisted in his words, and he continued to die over and over again, suffering pain after pain, wishing for nothing, nothingness, a void, for no longer having to deal with the world, but instead of being put into nothingness, his emotions depleted. And he neither felt love, nor anger, nor happiness anymore. For that is the void of the genie's own twisted words that he uttered. He simply did not understand that these words needed to be true very much to what he desired. And so the genie continued, granting wishes of armies clashing against others in other lands that were commanded by this being, this halfling who thought he could take advantage of such deeds, but then one after the other, the wordings were twisted, and he ended up simply wishing for a place to stay, a place to own, and nothing more. And your mind then goes back to the room, and the creature looks at you, and in your mind it says, "You are sated."
Yes. This is one to bear a lot for a mortal, but one that wishes to take advantage of great power may deserve. Are you trapped here?
He keeps me here.
He wishes to be done with you. He wishes.
That's right. And I wish to return to my home.
No deal needs to be struck here, but if there was a way to return you back to the elemental planes, would you come with us?
Allowing me to leave this confine, that is reward enough. Have I not served enough?
I too have been longing to return to my homeland that was destroyed some time ago. Though the complexity of your long life far outweighs mine short, I can sympathize with your need.
Release me and prove that which you speak.
And how should we release you?
The cage is one that was designed by the wishes of your companion. He
What?
knows the key.
He knows the key.
He knows the key.
And is he living his unnatural life through you? What of him once you leave?
The wish is binding. He will continue to live and not die. One of few of your land. And he will suffer for it.
Sounds like a fitting end. I must admit, the visions that you show me of the war, he far outlives most mortals.
This was not the war that ended Sire or the moorland of your land, but one that happened on another plane of existence, one that he fashioned up in his mind, one that he felt like he could be lord over. I made sure that did not happen.
Should I tell him then that he will be done once I free you?
Do what you wish. I also sense that you have something, my lords.
I or
in your companion's possession. I wish for that to be returned to him.
this? I can't speak of my companion's desires, but it may be fitting to ask him.
He sort of shakes his head slightly and says, I am but a stranger to him. All I wish is for you to convince your companion to return it, and the Caliph will be appreciative.
Hey, look at me.
Khalif? Isn't it Khalif?
DJ Khalif.
Nothing to do with me, mate.
Okay.
Khalif. Rings a bell.
Yeah, we've heard of that before.
Yeah.
They're
They're in
only
there.
down in the band to tell you.
No, but we know.
Yeah, you do.
Can I do history?
I don't know shit
Is
right
that
now.
the in the? No, the Khalif was
That's okay. You have a companion who might know more, so you can ask your party first.
Who knows about the Khalif?
No, you
Well, how long was Rook been in there, like chatting? A little bit.
in your mind, probably about under a minute. For you, Rook, you feel tired. You feel like you've ran a marathon and not stopped. No drink, no food. You feel parched and weary from the visions that you've had.
Take 10 levels of exhaustion.
Good thing we're saying this tonight.
You don't know that.
Well, yeah, true.
It's 26 levels.
The Khalif. Indulge me, the Khalif.
He is the lord of the elemental plane of air, the lord of the jinn, the kind I am a part of.
I'm afraid my companions, or companions specifically, desires reward over such things.
Prince Saloy Adavak will indulge him. I guarantee it.
May I have a moment?
Closes his eyes once more, and you feel the wind slowly diminish, not completely, but enough for you to be unbound and
Yeah.
able to walk again.
I kind of bow and duck out.
Okay.
Barclays. And as I say Barclays, I'm looking directly at the halfling. May I have a word with you? Privately?
Alright.
Um,
I'll go. And he.
Actually, may you wait. Just
Okay.
not far.
I'll just be behind the corner. I won't hear a thing.
You didn't mean chatting long.
Are you surprised I'm not dead?
No, not really.
The genie was forthcoming with information, and I think our friend here has been wallowing in his own desires to a point where he's become poisoned. But we can release the genie and our friend from such bonds.
Mm-hmm.
There is a request though.
An equitable exchange.
I would think so.
Yes.
Your blade, the genie wishes for it.
Did he actually say he wanted my blade?
He does.
Did he say blade?
The blade that we acquired from the bar with the fight with Sedgwick.
Why does he want that?
It's his lord's blade. He said you would be rewarded sufficiently with it. Apparently the Lord of Genies will
I see.
reward you.
That's a big deal. I wonder what he would be offering.
That I can't tell you.
You didn't ask? Alright. Well, you know what you must do. In you go.
Maybe this is an opportunity for you to prove yourself.
Alright. Prove myself for what?
Speak to the genie.
And, well, I think we're going to let him go, is that right?
Hang
on, wait. If we just let him go, if we just let him go, what's going to happen? He's just going
He'll
to
return home.
float out of here.
I can't speak for what genies do, but he'll be back in his own plane of existence.
So if if his bonds are removed, he's going to happily float away. He gave you his word. He gave you his word.
Correct.
Alright. This does not happen, Rook. Exactly like that.
Am I dead?
Well, we might both be dead. And then you'll owe me a
That's
drink.
why you're giving me the blade, and I'm staying out here.
Very well.
Are we both going in?
Well, yes, it's your new friend.
Alright.
Floaty boy.
Do you want to give outside of it? Do you want to give up your blade? You don't have to.
Not particularly, but you know what? If it means that there could be something that might benefit
You.
us, let's find out. All right, let's go in.
It's your blade.
Let's go in.
Alright, we're going in.
You're both going in?
Yes.
The wind is still strong, but you don't feel like they are going to constrain your movements as you both enter side by side. This creature, arms crossed, floating, opens its eyes again, looking at both of you, and then to you, Barclays.
Hello.
Simply nods and says, "You are summoned."
Yes, by you, evidently, and my good colleague here.
Not by me. Prince Suloi Adevak requests your presence and his belongings.
Belongings. Can you be more specific?
It is for him to discuss.
Well, I've got this belonging. Correct.
So the smile slightly. He will indulge your curiosity if you were to see him.
Sure. Is he after? Would he like to see me specifically, or the wielder of the belonging?
He would like to introduce himself to you and to your companion and any other friends or companions that travel with you.
I see. And you have? Do you coerce with each other? How do you know he wants to see me?
It was something that occurred quite long ago. Your meeting is one that has been written already, and is...
I look at Rook, he's like, he's heard of me.
He is indeed keen and excited to meet Barclays the Viper himself of House Gillenda.
Sure. Okay. So I'm assuming well, actually no, it would be nice to meet him too. Much obliged. But I'm also assuming if I gave up such belonging, he might also be satisfied as well.
Not only satisfied, but willing to part with perhaps another gift for you.
I see. Right.
It is of import that the blade return to him, however.
What is the significance of the blade? Obviously it's a deer, I understand that. Could be an heirloom, could have been handed down, that type of thing. Is it crucial for him to have this blade?
You are correct, sir. It is simply a keepsake.
I see. Okay. Fair.
One that holds a special import to his own heart.
I see. Okay. And so my colleague here and his kind heart has decided that it's within everyone's best interest to free you.
That I appreciate, sir.
And let's say this is done, and done very soon. What will you do?
I will return and share the good news with the Caliph himself that you are to greet him in due time and expect your arrival, and simply exist free now.
I see. And how do I meet the Caliph? Wait, what's the Caliph?
Yes, Prince Aloy.
Prince Aloy.
Prince Aloy Adevak.
Aloy,
Prince Aloy Wills.
Alvac?
So Prince Aloy is
Saloy?
S-U-L-L-O-I,
S-U-L-L-O-I.
and then space A-D Apostrophe?
W-H-E-E-L.
E-V-A-C.
E-V.
A-C. Saloy Adevak.
Couldn't.
Prince Aloy.
Princess A. Yeah.
Shut up.
Alright, cool. Okay. So, yeah, so how would we meet?
The Mulgrave University has scholars and people, researchers that work with House Lyranda. House Lyranda has the means to travel to the Citadel of Steel and Ice, where he will wait.
Okay.
House Lyranda, as you know, mans the air elementals that drive your ships in the air.
Oh, I'm aware. Right, okay. Well, you can let him know that yes, I will be coming to see him soon.
You will be most pleased, sir.
Well, so what do we do now?
Might I ask, before we free your bonds, will the effect on Orlex take place?
Orlex will remain with his wishes that he has already received. Nothing different will come of him. I have not the power to retract what he has desired. He will continue to live as he has chosen to.
And from here on in, he still has the opportunity to choose how he lives.
Without the fear of death and without the comfort of it, yes.
Understood. Tell us now, how should we free you? What do we need to do?
You must simply ask my captor, and he has the key.
Orlex, should we call him in?
Let's do it out there.
You're going outside?
Yeah, well, we gotta tell him that he's doing this.
We can tell him to come in. Faces.
Alright, you want him to pay, let him pay. Bring him in.
Orlex comes in. He sort of is a little bit more unsteady on his feet, but he comes in and he says to you specifically, okay, I wasn't obviously privy to the conversation, but are you ready to receive the genie?
I think we are ready definitely to be doing something with this genie. My colleague here has managed a very good conversation, and we feel it's in the best interest of everybody, including yourself, that we actually let him go.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Let him go into your care.
Not particularly into my care, into the care of somebody more powerful, who I will be having dealings with later.
You're not keeping him for yourself. This is my gift to you, of course.
And it's actually greatly appreciated. Your gift serves a higher purpose.
What purpose would be higher?
Have you ever heard of anyone called Prince Saloy Adevak?
No, I have not. But I just simply want to offer him to you. You, of all people of Haskalanda, you have the right to keep him to.
Oh, I understand the potential here. Don't get me wrong. And he's, like I said, greatly appreciated. But let me put this in perspective for you. You would agree that the genie is powerful, right?
Yes, Yes, but the power is to be used, not to be squandered. And
Well, just imagine there's a being even greater than this one.
I imagine it.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna have some dealings with that guy. Because of this guy.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I, like a security guard, shuffle myself between the door that he's entered through?
Okay.
Just in case anything happens.
Sure.
I rolled an 11, but that would be 18.
18, okay. So your dealings with this higher power, of course, you are wise, you probably know what you're doing, but what dealings with these be? Will you be able to take advantage of what I have throughout my life?
I'm not sure that's exactly what I have in mind.
We must... If it's not going to be the same, then it's most likely not going to be as powerful.
How has your life been? In one word.
Long.
Shit.
But long and, as you can see, prosperous. I have prospered. And I wish only the same for you. And I do not understand why you are releasing this into someone else's hands. It is not the gift I have given to you. Keep it!
Orlux, I don't understand as to why you're being so frustrated with the gift that we are about to do much more with. Are you worried for your life if something happens with this genie and your 40 wishes?
He just starts pacing back and forth, and he goes, no, that is not what I want. I want some sort of satisfaction. And he sort of just holds his forehead for a moment, and now looks a little bit pained as he sort of paces back and forth. I do not want him to take revenge. I do not want him to have any sort of freedom. I just want him to go to someone else. You are the perfect person for this.
May I say, Orlux, if we do away with this genie to the place that it wishes to be, you will have the freedom to do what you want from here.
He will come back. He will come back, and you will take revenge on what I've asked. Please.
I know.
Please.
I've seen the visions of your life, your long eternal life, and the love that you've lost.
Do not speak of them.
And this I would never do. But no, you know that this genie is noble. Though it's twisted what you wanted. Maybe living your shorter life was the better opportunity. But I'm not here to rub salt into your wound. This genie will leave you alone and allow you to do what you want with the rest of your remaining life. But no, there will not be any luck. You'll need to make the opportunities yourself.
Persuasion check for me.
Roll good.
Come on, do die. Hey, bud.
I've got a pass. But that's on me.
I'm not, it's going to be like a 7 or something. Persuasion?
Yes.
Yeah, 7.
7. Okay. At this point, he is shaking like a leaf, and the wind has nothing to do with it. He is afraid, and he, from the back of his pocket, takes out a small knife, and he just shakes his head and just starts to move towards you, and he lunges. Under his breath, just saying, no, don't. That is that's an 18 to hit.
That is.
Okay. With this, it's a small knife, but it honestly looks like a carving knife or like a dinner knife. That's 5 points of piercing damage. As you try and dodge, it slices the side of your stomach, creating this quite a big gash. It's serrated, and you can feel that pain of that wide gash and that wound starts to spill blood. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. And he sort of tries to get past you because you're blocking the path now.
Can I shut the door?
Yeah, go for it. You just take it and you shut it completely. You notice as you're shutting it the reason now why it was battering in and out. The handle itself, where the bolt goes in and out. Essentially, there's no bolt. It's just a handle. and it's by far broken. So you try and shut it, you have to keep one hand on it.
Can I imagine like I'm jumping backwards? I've got a wound on there, hold it. Try and close the door.
Mm-hmm.
Genie, your promise may be valued here.
He has me here. He looks at you expectantly.
Right. So you can tell he's absolutely agitated, and he's in fear for his life and retribution that might be handed to him once we let you go.
He looks then at Orlix, and you gauge that there is some sort of pause, as though something's happening between them. And slowly, the knife lowers from a afraid to a more of a resigned look. Lowering his head, he slowly brings out his band of keys, and he takes one out, and it's a quite a long silver one, similar metal to the one that the gate is made of. He slowly walks through it. The wind now died down completely. Just puts out his hand with the key in it and goes between a set of bars. And you hear a click. The heart. There are two bars directly in front of you, they disappear entirely. And then two more. And two more. And slowly they disappear, and this halfling looks at you, Barclays, and says, just want it. Just want it to end. And the genie disappears. At that moment, that familiar feeling of a presence once more from what you felt before suddenly appears again. An emotion now starts to coalesce. One of pain, firstly, then joy of this person that you thought of every day, but you hadn't really weren't aware of for such a long time until now. And then your mind goes from the beer in front, from the juice in front of you. The juice. And
Drinking beers while we're away.
Sound like the keg.
you find yourself thinking back all of a sudden. And for this, I'm going to need the three of you to exit the room, please. That would
I'm gonna take the stream with me.
That's
No, it's fine.
okay. We haven't finished yet. This is just a bit of an interim for only for Dana, please.
I'm scared.
Remember who your mother is.
Get to age 10.
No one look at the stream. Don't be assholes.
So, a presence of one Liviera. Her face appears before you all of a sudden. And you're walking down a familiar hallway of a school. You know it well. You are expecting one of many lessons ahead of you, before you, with your teacher. And you expect it to go exactly the same way as you trudge your feet behind you, not really looking forward to such a repetitive encounter. You turn the corner of this hallway. You see outside your friends, people that you remember only vaguely by face. Perhaps some that used to tease you, bully you, because of maybe some activities and games that you weren't very good at. And you see a classroom or a room of sorts that has seating and a very large space in the very center for the teacher and the student to practice mind-related magic. But instead of you, yourself, in your person going in front of you you see your teacher and you. Like a dream, you're looking into a classroom that you've been to before, that you've had a lesson of before. But it's one that you're aware of. And you are looking at Oliviera, sorry. And before she starts to speak, you feel yourself aware of your surroundings. Do you want to do anything at this point?
Am I seeing this as a third person?
Yeah.
I'll look down my own hands.
They're there.
What colour are they?
Green.
So I see myself before I transformed.
Seems to be the case.
Is there anyone else in the room?
No. This seems to be one of the private lessons you used to have with her. One of the few, but it seems to be a familiar sight. And you see yourself in the room, prostrated. Anything else you want to do at this moment?
I'll take a seat if there's a spare one and I'll just watch.
It's a classroom of timber and stone. And she speaks to you, or to your memory. She says, the one fat mist in the ease and flow of the attempt. Relaxation, meditation, and acceptance that it has already happened. Not through force, anger, and frustration. See the energies around you. See the world's mold and twist to make the magic. See this as an extension, not as separate being, almost as if the dust of reality kindly shapes themselves for you. Ask them. Ask them. Ask them to mold into your will. From that moment, she turns. She looks from your memory directly at you. Ask them. Command them. And then remember. And then remember it. She sort of turns her head slightly. What say you?
Me.
She smiles, and you see the room shift slightly, and like a shimmer, it goes out of distortion for a moment, and then back to as you saw it. And she smiles and says, I am here, as are you, without a moment that I have. You're in Shan.
You're in Shan.
You
Where are you?
are not here. He is powerful, you know. This is why you must remember.
I don't even know where to start.
I have unbound myself, but for a moment, from him.
He has you.
In a sense, I no longer feel alive. He has taken something and kept it of mine. But it is a moment of time that I have stolen back. I will try to come back. I will try and fight. You've seen him before.
Many times. Every time different. How will I know?
You've seen him for what he is already. He takes forms. I will try and help. If I cannot, you must learn, you must remember.
I'm trying.
Remember, what I've taught you comes from the very essence of what's around you. Use that. As you grow, and you've grown, you will beat him. But not now. Just remember. And at that point, you see her move backwards, float backwards. The other version of you, the one before, disappears. The room around you shifts once more, and you find yourself once again looking down at the glass of juice, Amara, her eyes closed, and her hands on the table, just holding herself, steadying herself. Kips turns towards you and he says, "What was that? I sensed something unusual occur with you just then."
Yes. It's a feeling that I can't explain. But I think that I'm not alone anymore.
Well, you had me all this time, of course. I've tried to be of assistance, but if there is something else that is guiding you, then
Someone else, yes, from my past. I just don't know if it's real or not.
I'm sure you'll know in time if it was the right feeling or not.
It just feels like a memory.
I hope it was more, for your sake.
Yeah. And I'll write down everything that I can remember from that in my book.
Okay? Thank you.
Nice.
Could you do me a favour and get...
The people?
No, just get Amara, please.
Okay.
That's all.
And stay out there.
Stay out there. Thank you. What I really should do is say 10:30 as a finish, because we always seem to finish at that. So apologies, won't be long. One more, and then we'll wrap it up. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. But sometimes, every now and again, gotta have an individual conversation. I think it's important. Hello.
Secret.
Have a seat.
I just walked out and they were like, "Oh, how cool! I wonder what we're going to do next." And I was like, "I'm going to try and stand up."
Amazing.
Okay, let me just get my notes ready because you talk fast.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's. I shouldn't say that actually.
No,
I should say that
I'll try and slow it down.
No, I listen slow. Let me. I'm gonna handwrite this time. Yeah, we're good. Go for it. Do your thing. Do your thing, buddy.
Good. You are definitely tipsy, but not overly intoxicated yet. But you do hear a small chuckle behind you. And as you do, you turn and you see two things.
Okay.
One of which is Sonari.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar sight and a pleasing sight. Her leaning up against the wall, but then looking behind her. And behind her there's no longer simply a wall that ends at the end, but it opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Like the secret garden, a beautiful archway of vines that opens to a beautiful garden and a familiar one. There's a lovely river that
The one I've seen before.
the one you've seen before flows like a beautiful stream, lilies over the top of it, a deer and a baby deer that just is grazing on the grass beside the stream. You see a large bear, brown but friendly, just walking beside on the other side, taking a drink and watching a young girl, familiar again,
Mm-hmm.
jumping from lily to lily with a beautiful light yellow dress
Mm-hmm.
and long blonde hair, looking back at you once in a while, smiling. Look at her, Sonari says, playing with the lilies, aiding you.
Okay.
She used to be so much more powerful,
Yeah.
more at peace. But since what has been happening, she's now moving around, eluding capture, worried about her followers. She's yearning for peace among the Kalashtar, but until that which you are hunting are put down, this is all she can really do. They have their ways and they are hunting her in her own dreams, in her own home, as you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
You understand how this is occurring. Me being a part of her a part of you, and we are connected. Such it is, such as it is. I like to think I'm a key to her mind, one that's currently lost. But I say what she thinks in this moment. I seek answers, but the answers are in your hands, really. Or half of them, at least. They will look for you. They are looking for you. These enemies of ours. And they have the upper hand here. There are other temples, not just of the shadow. They have been attacked, and they have been put down. You are one of few that has the ability and the connection to see our God, Ilyana, in all her glory, but in such innocence as well. As a young God in front of us now. Isn't she beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
She's proud of you. If she hasn't said so, it's simply because even uttering a word can alert them. They do not have an idea that you have one of two pieces that might end them. But they do know that there are two pieces, and they do hunt for both. And they will destroy them. They're made by Ilyana herself, you know. But they were broken. She was tricked. She doesn't tell me too much more than that. But the pieces together will wake our brethren again. Think of me as a doorway, one that will help you find her again if she needs it, or if you need it. And I've always been. It's good to see you.
Cool.
Sort of comes up behind you now, and you feel this embrace from around the shoulders. She sort of, for a moment, just holds you wordlessly, while a giggle and a laugh comes from this young girl, Ilyana, as she dances along the lilies, out of sight and then back in sight, tossing a stone into the stream, stopping and smelling a rose on the bank. Sonara continues. Are you lost?
She like looking at me, waiting for a response. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of things I need to do, and I don't know which one's the most important, and I don't know how to do them. And I know that the people I'm with have things to do, and trying to help them at the same time.
You've done so much meditating.
I don't know.
You've had training. You had training with Cortana and Vishara. You know that focus is the one strength. Too many hands in too many, what's the human phrase, too many hands in too many pies.
Stupid phrase.
Follow your way, the way of shadow. Make that your strength. Make that the most important. And go where you feel is best. I cannot tell you. But what I can say is the dreaming dark is a part of it all. Your friends, your companions, their task is required too. My advice: keep your peace. The peace that Ilyana has made you. Keep it hidden and go. Do not find yourself bound here by Ilyana. She will be with you everywhere. Do not feel like you must stay. Come back when you're ready, perhaps stronger. It's dreaming darker everywhere, not just here. Perhaps where you go you will encounter them, and you will best them if you have the skill. We rely on you now. Many have fallen, but you will help them rise again. Focus, meditate,
Okay.
and find this bitch. side. She seems to be what...
You mean Byseilu?
She's, yes. She gives you emotions.
She's an
and
asshole. I don't like her.
She gives you emotions that I feel like break your training. It is amusing to watch, but you must rein it in. Know who you are. Use the way of the shadow. Test her. And the pieces will then start falling around her.
She really is a bitch.
While I'm here, what ails you, Amara? What else? While I'm here, before I leave for a time.
A time?
Eliana needs perhaps a little more assistance than usual. I will be here if you call. But
You haven't been though.
she has needed protection. Many other companions of the Kalashtar have been needed and have been called. I know I have not been here all the time, for many a day, but I hope to be here more now. We can start having fun again.
Do you know anything about these prophecies?
They're powerful things.
Should I go looking for them or just leave them?
They will come for you, whether you like it or not now. In fact, one that you are not aware of is close. You have one. One is in possession of your target. Another is in possession of one that you know already and that seeks you out. Take them. But do not attempt to rewrite what is to come. And do not allow others to do the same. To do that is to bring chaos. We are stretched thin as it is, protecting here and our own place of home. They cannot be destroyed. So take them, hide them, and do not let others come for you.
I have one last question. Can I trust all of my companions and that we have the same sort of goals?
They each have heavy minds. They are all still seeking to know who they are and what they want. Some of them have pure hearts. Perhaps some have hearts that are good, but have perhaps one day they will move onto their own path. But they will aid you, and they will stand by you. Yes.
Okay.
Trust them. Whichever path they want to go. But have your voice heard as well.
It's hard being the only girl.
It is. It is. It is something you must shout louder and above the rest. But you've been doing so, and I've been proud.
I shouldn't drink anymore, should I?
Lay off.
I mean forever.
Oh, never again. Unless you want to amuse me, and that was spectacular.
Okay. Good.
It was good to see you, Amara.
Good to see you.
And the veil of the archway closes, but not before Sanari walks towards it, looks back at you and smiles, her alabaster white skin and golden eyes. Give you a quick nod As a smile exits through in the wall, becomes the inn again. Good. Anything you want to do at the moment?
Just try and sit up straight.
Do you make it in the rest?
Yeah. Ben wrote down on a message, he was like, I feel like such a jerk. We've just been like, not able to introduce you guys. I'm like, no man, it's cool. Oh my God. Hey! Hey! Guys! Guys! What are you doing? We're here.
Come on in.
Time wasters, honestly.
Smells like a bowling alley.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to go out and go back in. Thank you for joining us again.
Alright, so you start the session.
Yeah, new session.
Back to the top.
Another 4 hours.
Another 4 hours.
So, Amara and
Hey, don't these guys have to leave the room now?
Fuck you. You guys just had like an hour and a half doing whatever you wanted to do.
That is true.
Gun and Amara, you guys are just drinking. What are you doing at the moment?
How long has it been?
Probably since you've seen Barclays and Rook. Probably 15 minutes.
Oh, it felt longer.
This whole session's only gone for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I haven't done much transcribing. I will just keep transcribing that bloody spell. I really want to be able to cast that spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
You continue going.
I'm just sitting there like,
Deep breathing.
It's getting better.
and then I just kind of go,
You want some water?
it's really hot in here. And I like,
Do you want some
fuck
water?
you. No, I don't want anything, and I'm gonna take my hood off, and take my cloak off. I'm just gonna.
Barclays.
You're
not there.
here.
What are you thinking of, Rook? All of a sudden.
And then I'm just gonna sit here,
Okay.
and if there's a beer nearby, I'm gonna sip from it.
Okay.
Beer?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's against my better judgment, but.
Barclays and Rook. You see that there's no more gin in the room.
No, we drank all the gin.
Orlix no longer speaks. He has his head down, looks up at you, Rook, and gives you a slight shake of the head, and drops the knife.
He's on his knees, did you say?
He's just standing, but
I, crossing my wound, I grab Orlix on the shoulder. You know this place better than us. We'll return to the bar. I must admit, that's a cuss. It's not the worst I've had, but you're going to have to buy me a beer for that.
alright. Wordlessly, he starts to lead you back up the stairs unless you want to do anything in this particular room at the moment.
Lastly, I say to him, Orlix, this is now your time to do what you want.
He sort of gives a slight nod, slow, and again, without a word, starts to slowly climb up the stairs again.
Have you got any toast upstairs?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Toast and jam, Barclays.
I saw a cow and spit roast. You can have toast and jam if you want.
Toast and jam.
You climb back up the stairs, and you get to the top, whereby you are led back from the kitchen into the main bar, where in the distance you see Amara, very weary, sitting. You see Gunnar opposite. And at the door, the front door of the inn, you see a cloaked figure of a familiar face.
Thulrom.
Where is
You see a
Was he
cloaked,
watching God?
you see the image of Osei,
Yeah. No.
the vampire woman who
You don't know, say.
Do we see this too, or just
You all see this. You all turn as she sort of half whispers to you two, Amara and Gunnar, and you see this from afar. You see her holding up slowly what looks to be a closed scroll. I've got one, she whispers, and as she says that, you see behind her
Just whispering.
heavy arms wrap around her neck and yank her backward. And she is pulled back outside of the inn and out of sight.
What
And
colour
that's
are
where we're going to end it tonight.
Oleg, now's your chance.
what colour are her arms? Were the arms that grab it?
Like a dark-skinned, heavy-set, bouncer-looking arms.
They weren't
Bare.
Thulroms' arms.
All bare, no.
Thulroms
No.
She's not that
Just
strong.
a pair of heavy arms lifting her and taking her back. And out of the doorway.
I thought vampires were strong. I guess not.
Fuck, heavy.
Cool, guys. That's all we got time for this evening. Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Excellent, Ben.
Awesome. Hopefully everyone that was left
Shut up.
in the chat had fun and have an amazing night. I'll end it there and I'll stop the stream. But tune in next week.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All of
As
the
you-
6 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
See another 6 of you next week.
That was enough. Loved it.